Mr. Stanger, you and the defendant, according to your complaint, lived in a relationship for about 6 years.
Yes.
And it is your claim that when the relationship terminated, the defendant was indebted to you for rent, some household bills, cell phone bill, and some money that you loaned to him in the amount of $5,000.
Correct.
The defendant says that you were, in fact, in a relationship, that there was a rather loose financial arrangement, and that there was never a complaint on your part while you were together that you were owed any money. Only after the relationship terminated was there a complaint. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes.
When did you begin living together?
The
What
later
year?
part of '98. I don't have the exact
It was
date.
March of '98.
And when did you move out of the home?
I was thrown out of the home or asked to leave the home in October of this year.
Now, what do you claim is owed to you, and for what, Mr. Stanger?
What I have is he's not paid me rent in full at any time during the time.
Your Honor, I...
Shh, don't interrupt. Go ahead.
During the time of the end of last year up until the end of this past year.
And when for the first time did you complain about that?
I've complained about it over and over. I had bills to pay. I mean, I paid for everything.
So what the heck did you do with the money?
Mr. Swanger, don't make this any more difficult, please.
I don't think I'm the one making it difficult.
Good. So that let's wait until it's your turn. When did he give you money, sir, during the course of this year?
Periodically, when his pay periods came around, I would ask him, don't you have something you need to give me? You owe me money.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say,
half the
well,
time you would come up.
I'm going to say it
after my
again. 1,
check.
2, 3. Mr. Swanger, have I been respectful to you?
Yes, you have.
In a court, you're supposed to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain rules. Plaintiff goes first. The defendant responds to questions. That's the way this works.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have a discussion with Mr. Stanger, then you do it outside, you do it over coffee, you do it in the living room, you do it, out in the street. That's a discussion. Then you talk back and forth. When you're here, I ask questions, you answer them. Unless I'm looking at you for an answer, do not speak. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
Good. Go ahead.
just from what you've seen, that's his arrogance. Any time that I've ever tried to ask him to
Mr.
give me-
Stanger, his arrogance may be, but you lived with him. I'm not here to resolve that. Did you keep a register of how much he gave you each month? The answer is either yes or no.
No.
How do you know how much he owes you?
Well, at one point in time, we were both discussing what he felt he owed me, and he said about $6,500. I says, but still there's other monies that you owe me too, for bills that you didn't pay that you used in my name that I didn't know about. For instance, a Cellular One, he ran a bill up in his name for $600 and something, and then they turned it off, and he had one activated in my name, ran that up to over $1,000.
When did you find out about that, sir?
Well, it was 2000, actually.
And you didn't
was
separate,
when-
actually, until December of 2001. Did you immediately close that account?
Actually, I received a phone call. It was a collection agency that I had owed this money. I had him, and I had filled out an affidavit, sent it to the company, stating that, you know, I was not responsible, I did not authorize it, I never signed anything for that phone.
But you could have proceeded further, sir. If he forged your name to documents to open up an account,
Well, they
you are
said-
not responsible.
They are
Just-
holding me responsible.
Well, they can't hold you responsible, sir. If you wish to proceed with it criminally, they don't have to hold you responsible at all.
I have threatened him with that and told him that I would take it to the district attorney.
Well, listen, so do it.
He said that he, you know, he would pay it. And, you know, of course,
Mr.
I loved him, and I was stupid enough to believe him and give him chance after chance and, you know, putting me in harm's way continuously.
A year is a long chance, Mr. Stanger, so you didn't answer my question. Had they turned off that phone?
It was turned off, I guess, prior to when I found the bill and then when I received that phone call.
Now tell me about this loan that you claim, sir. What was it for?
Well, I loaned him monies to fix a vehicle that he had. So
When was that, Mr.
This was
Stanger?
earlier in the year. I forget the date that I'd put
It
down.
was April of this year, or of 2001.
You know, he was just lying to me. He never paid me back on it. You know, and plus...
How much did you give him?
It was actually $498, but I took off some of the amount because he had given me $35 or something. I didn't really keep track of that because there was just so many astronomical figures of how much he owes me. So I was just stupid for really putting up with this as
Right.
long as I did.
Right. You were. Because if it was in April that you loaned him this money, that was after you found out about the telephone. Is that right?
I knew of the phone, yes, for a couple of years.
So you knew of the phone for a long time, and he hadn't paid you, according to you, any money on the phone. Is that right?
Right.
And yet you gave him more money. You know, for the time that you were together, this was like a marriage. That's what it was. And you anticipated that it would go on for a very long time. And that but for the fact that you separated, for whatever reason, you wouldn't be here today.
Right.
Now, is there anything you want to say?
Oh, yeah.
Do you listen at all?
Yeah, I listen.
What did I just say?
That if there hadn't been a problem with monies in the relationship, we wouldn't be here to begin with.
No, that's not what I said at all. You have to listen carefully.
To me what it was you said?
I said, but for the fact that the relationship terminated, we would not be here today.
Oh, if we were still together.
Right.
Throughout the relationship, he threatened me, you owe me this, you owe me this, you owe me this. I didn't keep track of what it was that I had paid him. I did agree with him. I may owe you for past rents, but I pay for this, this, and this. What, I mean, in a relationship, are we keeping track here?
Well, then, since you choose to respond, Mr. Swanger, I'm going to ask you a few other questions, sir. Did there ever come a time when you sat down with the plaintiff and discussed what, in fact, you did owe him?
Oh, there were several times when it came to the point that he was trying to throw me out of the house and had everything I owed in the foyer.
Just a second.
Sure,
Mr.
there
Swanger,
was.
did there ever come a time when you came to a dollar figure?
Yes, there was.
And what was it that you agreed that you owed him?
It came up to over $5,000. It came up to like $8,000. But we also weren't taking into account the things that I had paid for as well either.
Oh, fine. All right. So, see if you.
I mean, when you're in
do you understand?
when you're in a relationship,
I hope
and you should
you all
have,
understand. Okay. So,
instead of
Mr.
paying
Swanger,
rent, shouldn't
pay
you take the
attention. You're
bills and
speaking.
meet
You're
them in
not
half?
listening. So there came a time when you sat down and you agreed that it was over $6,500, closer to $8,000, but he wasn't taking into account what monies you had in fact paid him. Now, what monies do you claim that you had in fact paid him? Give me a rough estimate.
I didn't keep a receipt of it.
Now, give
when
me
you're
a
in a relationship, what the
Mr.
heck do you need to
Swanger,
keep a receipt of
listen.
it for?
Don't speak. What amount do you believe that you had paid him towards the money that you owed him?
I couldn't say. I didn't.
Well, I
keep
want you
an
to try.
account.
No, listen to me. I want you to try, sir. What amount, if you were to be very generous with yourself, what amount do you believe that you gave him towards the money that you now agreed that you owed him?
I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue.
Well, no,
All
I want you
know
to
is
have a
when
clue. I want you to have a clue, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. John Stanger says ex-boyfriend Robbie Swanger owes for rent, bills, and loans. Robbie says he had no idea John was keeping a tab.
Now, you had some idea whether you did have an agreement that you would give him $500
I was paid bi-weekly. There was times he would come up and he would get my whole paycheck. There were months when I would just pay bills and not give him $500. I mean, I wasn't keeping in account how much I had actually paid.
Were there months, Mr. Stanger, that the defendant paid some bills?
Yes, there were several months in between that, you know, he would pay and then months that he wouldn't pay. That's how we came up with the figure, and I figured it about a year's rent. There was no set date that it was absolutely 12 months consecutively. This is what we agreed upon and what we figured and what I figured.
He
I didn't
kept
write
track
it
of
down.
everything, but when I give him money, I didn't keep track of it.
Evidently didn't keep
when you're
track
married, you
because
don't
he
keep
doesn't
track.
have
That
a
was
register.
my bad business for not writing everything
Well,
down at the
Mr.
time.
Stanger, you can't expect a court to resolve the issue of a dollar amount of money unless you come to me equipped with information. I don't make a calculated guess about how much he owes you.
He's written me 2 checks, and with these 2 checks in the memo, he even puts 1/3 payment, recognizing that he did owe me this money.
Well, let me see the checks. 1/3 payment of what?
1/3 payment towards all the monies that he's owed
Well,
me
then let
to
me
the
see.
$8,000.
Let me see.
Also, you know,
Sure, just a second. Let me see what you have.
he did it twice.
Just a second. Would you show this to the defendant, please?
He was trying to make good on something, but
Remember writing that, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, that seems to indicate, sir, that you had agreed on a specific amount of money, Mr. Swanger, that you did, in fact, owe the plaintiff.
And like I said, we had, but
No, you didn't say that, sir.
Yes,
He
I
didn't
did.
say
I said
that.
we sat down and I sat down with him and we came to a dollar figure.
No, that's not
But
what
we
you said,
didn't take
Mr.
into
Swanger.
it.
What
Yes,
you
it was.
said
We
was
didn't
you
take
came
into
to a
account what
dollar
I had
figure.
already
Nobody
paid
speaks
him.
when I speak. You say that you came to a dollar figure, but that did not take into account the money that you had already given him. That's what you said. That's exactly what you said. You didn't say that you came to a dollar figure of what you owed. And then I said to you over and over again, well, what was it that you in fact gave him so I can deduct that from what you agreed that you owed him? And you said, I can't tell you. But here it is clear that you agreed that you owed him minimally the amount that he's suing for because you made certain payments.
But what about the monies
One-third
I
payment,
paid to him?
$2,000. But that check was no good?
No good.
But that's what you wrote. One-third payment, $2,000.
And do you know why that check was written? Because I came home and all my things were in the foyer of the house, and it was done under distress as to our relationship was built on money and
Your
not.
Honor, he
not
was having
Then you
an
wrote
affair
another
and
check,
I
sir,
had
a
I
month
had an
later.
affair. He's getting more rides and Greyhound.
Then you
and
wrote
I had an
another check,
affair.
sir, a month later for $2,000. Was that check cashed?
And stop
Nope.
payment on it.
You stopped payment on that
Exactly, he
check.
did.
So it's clear. It says something about balance, $6,000. And then you stopped payment on that. So was your furniture out in the hallway, sir, from September 21st, 2001 until October 2001?
It was back and forth. It was a
It was
roller
back and
coaster.
forth. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested, $5,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The guy's like a doorknob. Everybody's had a turn. And when I did it back to him,
Takes a bad matter, makes it worse by going out and starting a new relationship with somebody else and expecting me to live with that with him. And I just wasn't going to have it.
Yes, this is case number 477 on the calendar in the matter of Hubbard versus Hubbard. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
You're Michael.
Yes.
Michael, the defendant is your father, and according to your complaint, when you were 16 or 17, you had a job,
Yes.
or two jobs,
Two, yes.
and you and your dad opened a bank account and deposited your money in the account. The money was all your money. You needed his signature on the account because you were a minor.
Yes.
And then there was some sort of a dispute involving your father and your mother, and they're divorced,
Separated.
and your father withdrew all the money from your account.
All of it but $2.51.
And how much money did you have in the account?
Before he withdrew it, I had $1,527.51.
Why did you withdraw your son's money?
$775 I drew out for room and board when he stayed with me for 2 months.
All right, so let's start with the $775 that you withdrew for room and board.
Yes.
When did he live with you?
From June 20th until August 20th.
And how old was your son in June of 2001?
17.
When did he turn 18?
December 11th.
You can't charge him for room and board. You're his father. You're responsible for him.
Ma'am, he was living with his mother at the time, and he came to, with her agreement, came to live with me so he could work. Before June, I was paying child support. And when he came to live with me, I just figured that I was entitled to the child support back.
You figured wrong. You may be entitled to child support back, but not from him.
When this all started out, I acknowledged to him that I was going to do this, and he had
I don't
no-
care what you acknowledge to him. And even if he agreed that he'd pay you room and board, even if he agreed, which he didn't, you can't hold a minor to a contract. I mean, I never heard of something so ridiculous in my life. Your son worked, he put money in the bank, he was saving for, I don't know, college, future, whatever. You decided later to withdraw money because you figured he owed you for room and board. Outrageous! What's next? What's next? $775.
Yes.
Room and board. What else did you take out?
Me and his mother had a dispute on child support that I owed. We went to court about that. And, you know, in order to get a lawyer, I told him I was going to take some money out to pay for their lawyer. That was because of another situation that was going on.
What?
His grades in school, that I was trying to get custody back for him
Yes.
to make him do better in school.
So?
And I had to get a lawyer in order to do that.
So? You wanted him to pay for the lawyer so that you could get
No, I
custody
did
of
not
him?
want him to pay for the lawyer.
Well, but he did. That's what you just told me. You took money out of his account so that you could pay for a lawyer to get custody of him. Isn't that what you just told me?
Yes, I did.
Well, am I correct? I mean, when you cut through all the baloney, that's what it was.
But I told him I was going to do this in order to file for custody for him.
Well,
and when I told him that, he had no problem with it.
What do you mean he had no problem with it?
He didn't disagree or agree.
Mr. Hubbard, what do you do for a living?
I'm an electrician, ma'am.
Well, let me give you the facts of life, Mr. Hubbard. The facts of life are parents support their children and provide for necessaries for their children until their children reach the age of majority. Then, if they're really lucky, the children will take care of themselves. Only if they're really lucky. Most parents take care of their children even after they've reached their majority. They pay for college, they pay for books, they pay for clothes, they pay for trips, they pay for medical, they pay for dental, they pay for orthodontia, they pay for cars, they pay for gas, they pay for dating. When they're 19 and 20 and 21 and 22, and sometimes even until they're 30. You, on the other hand, want your child to pay for himself, for his room and board, as well as for a lawyer for you. Hello? Michael, your father is misguided. You're entitled to your money back, Michael. Now, I assume at this point you and your father aren't getting along too well.
No.
And I assume that it will take some time for that to work itself out, if it ever does. Maybe he understands that he did the wrong thing. Maybe.
May I say something else, you may?
Yeah, sure.
I got custody of him on December 14th, 99. His grades were falling bad. When I finally got custody of him, I made him do his homework, and his grades came up. And then his mother 9 months later, filed for custody back of him because I was being too hard on him. I was making him do his homework. I was making him tell me where he was all this time, anytime he was out. Well, that's too hard on him as far as she's concerned. So she got custody back of him, and I have his report cards here showing that when he was with me, he was doing better, and now that he's with her, he's completely failing.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 18-year-old Michael Hubbard says his father, Ray Hubbard, stole money from his bank account. Ray says he needed the money.
Your job as a parent is to do what is best for your child, to look into...
That's what I was trying to do. I had his interest in heart all the time.
Fine. Let us say I absolutely agree that you felt as if he needed a stronger hand in order to do his work so that he could do well in school, so that he could move on. You felt as if you had to, as a parent, fight for custody so that he would do better. Is that fair? Is that a fair statement, sir?
No, sir. No, ma'am, that's not what I was doing.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Well, I am, but as far as his mother is concerned, she won't let him grow up.
It doesn't make any difference. Well, you're not listening to me, sir. I said you felt as if you had to do what you did in pursuing custody of him because you felt as if it was in his best interest.
Yes, I still do.
And you still do?
Yes.
Good. He doesn't pay for that. You pay for that. That's a necessary, not for him. That's a legal necessary for you. You as a parent are supposed to do the right thing. You felt in your heart the right thing was that he lived with you. You would be a better parent for him at this stage in his life. Good for you. You pay for it.
I understand that.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,527.51. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
A parent should be more responsible.
It was in the best interest of the child.
A minor shouldn't have to pay for room and board.
I'm going to keep fighting it.
Before 49 on the calendar in the matter of Bayer versus Borowski. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Bayer, the defendant was a former employee of yours. She no longer works for you. She was terminated by you. It is your claim that while she was working for you, she misappropriated funds from your business. The defendant says she didn't do it. When did she start to work for you?
She started to work for me approximately 4/10 in the year of 2000.
And what was her job?
She was a secretary office manager.
What kind of business do you have?
I have a heating and air conditioning company and a real estate development corporation.
What were her duties?
She would do most of the office management work, write checks, mail letters, type things on the computer, answer the phones, things like that.
When was she terminated?
11/18/01.
Why?
Her annual review was 8/01, and at that time her job duties were lacking in her responsibilities of her job, and she had a poor review at that time. And with that review, I also began noticing that she was having many problems with taking paper, faxing copies of her husband's job resume, and stealing other items.
What other items?
I have some evidence here. We have QuickBooks. She was writing rebate checks to herself so that she could get the checks rebated in her own name.
That is totally untrue.
That's not what you're suing her for.
No, but it's part of the history of the evidence.
Okay. When did you discover that she had used company funds for her own purposes?
In February of the following year.
February of 02. Okay. Let me see proof.
Here's evidence of the order form.
What are these things? Chanel throws, baskets, Pooh honey pot lamp, Pooh prints.
Things that we wouldn't use in the heating company business, ma'am.
Are all of these things bills that are attributed to her?
If you'll notice, the person who placed the order is on the invoice,
Yes.
and they were all ordered by her.
Okay, and you're saying that the items that were ordered
Yes, ma'am.
were not items that you use in your business?
We do not use Chanel pillowcases in heating and air conditioning.
Okay.
And Pooh Bear cups, we don't use those either.
I'd like her to take a look at these, please. Have you ever seen these?
Absolutely. I'm not denying that I didn't order them, but they certainly didn't go home with me.
So you're not denying that you ordered these things?
Correct, ma'am.
And she would order things from this company for your business, but you say not these things.
No, we don't ever use that supplier. There's nothing that we could ever order through them for our
So
company.
you never used these people?
I
All right.
didn't know
Fine.
the company existed.
Ms. Borowski, you ordered them.
Correct, ma'am.
Why?
To the best of my knowledge that I can recall, I must have been asked to order them by Mr. Byer. I did a lot of ordering of a lot of different things. On an occasion that I can recall off the top of my head, I ordered a necklace for his girlfriend's birthday on company funds. There were several things that were ordered through that business that were on company funds. My husband, which was working part-time for the business, in fact, did deliver to Mr. Byer's home. Lots of things would come in and be delivered to the business and would go to his home.
Madam, when somebody asks you in your capacity as office manager, I mean, there are a lot of things here. There's not one or two items. There are a lot of little items. But you would get an order form for these things, correct?
They were all ordered over the internet. In my research and finding out what happened after the fact, I talked to the company. I had them send me copies of the faxes, which I have here, of what happened. She ordered them during the day on the internet at the office because it came to the internet address of our office. And the internet address is Jessica Borowski. And I have that here also.
Not your company.
She used the internet office name Jessica Borowski on our internet at the office.
Why did you do that?
I can't recall ordering anything off of the internet.
Can I see?
And they will not ship unless it's to an office.
These were all done within a relatively short period of time.
Excuse me, they were all ordered the same day. The shipping dates are different. But they were all ordered on one order. And how I found out that I was liable, the bill kept coming for the shipping charges. And at what time when the bill kept coming, I kept sending the bill to her house. She refused to pay the bill. I saw my company name of GBR on the invoice, so I opened it up and found out that it was billed to me. I called the supplier up to find out what happened. And they told me, well, it was ordered during the day. Your company is responsible for the bill. I said, I never ordered these items. And they said, well, yes, you do, because it came to your company.
Okay, I want you very carefully, Ms. Borowski, to look over these items because they were, in fact, all ordered in November. They are all household items. Hands-free mini phone, an over-the-sink organizer. Clearly somebody was furnishing up a house.
Mr. Byer was building a house at that time. I do have pictures of that.
You don't need these things when you're building a house. These are things that you order when you already have the house built and you're accessorizing the house. So we're not talking about one item in 1 month, then another item another month. We're talking about somebody placing an order for all of these things. So you tell me, Ms. Borowski, why you think that Mr. Byer would pursue this matter since he says, and I believe him, that he didn't get any of these things. So why do you think he would accuse you of doing this?
That I'm not sure why he would accuse me personally. I mean, well, I worked for him, so. But he ordered several things from several different companies all the time that were delivered to the business.
Several and not 35 items, all ordered the same day, all domestic products. Ms. Borowski?
I'm telling you that I mean, those are not mine. Those are not mine.
Go ahead.
I have the coup de grace here, ma'am. This is a check that she wrote in her own handwriting and signed my name to the bottom of the check register. When she was terminated, the check register came up missing, and I'd like to also submit that there's also several other checks that you can see the difference in the handwriting and the signature on the bottom of the check.
I was authorized to sign checks
You were authorized to sign checks in whose name?
in his name. If
You were
there,
authorized to sign his name?
he gave me permission to sign checks when things arose that he wasn't able to be at the office to sign a check for something, that I was instructed to sign his name to a check.
Is that right?
She did sign when we were out of the office sometimes on an occasional basis. I will not deny that. It was with prior approval. Your Honor, I would not order a bunch of gifts for myself or my household and then sue her because I didn't get them, or just to sue her for the money.
So you wrote out a check for all these items and signed his name to it.
I could have wrote that check. I'm not denying that
Let's
fact
take a
at
look.
all, ma'am.
Let's take a look.
Your Honor.
For the exact amount of the order, $676.
I'm not denying that I could have wrote that check.
After she was terminated, Your Honor, the packages came in. If you look from the order shipping dates, the packages came in a staggered amount. She was already terminated. She was no longer there. Her husband came in, Jeff, and picked up the package as they came in. They started strolling in.
You mean he actually came into the place and picked up packages that were
We
marked
called
for
them
her?
to come and pick them up. Yes, that's true. And he picked up, and I didn't know that I had paid for them until February.
I'm not denying that I ordered things from that company, but they certainly weren't anything that was on there. And I have a refund check that was sent to me that I paid for my part, and I overpaid them.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jeff Byer says he fired Jessica Borowski after he found out she was ordering things off the internet and paying for them with company funds. Jessica says Jeff ordered those items for his girlfriend.
Mr. Byer, is this a company that you ever deal with?
I never knew they existed until I got the billing.
You've gone over all of your back bills from the company to see
I
whether
called
you ever dealt with this particular company, and you did not.
No, I never knew they existed.
And the only order that came in was this order that was shipped on different dates, but all to her attention.
Exactly.
And after she was terminated, you called the house and said, come in, you've got some packages here.
Right.
And he came to pick them up.
Yes, they came in staggered. So we had to call him several times. When the billing kept coming, we kept sending the bill to her, and she refused to pay.
Now she's going to pay judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $676. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was the only employee there handling his finances. There was nobody else to hold responsible.
Evidence in this case shows that she's a pathological liar.
He was wanting to hold me responsible for his mistake of not depositing enough money.
It's a shame that you trust people and you pay them to do a job and then they steal from you.
People should be more careful who they do business with, because this guy really is a crook.
Just watch over your shoulder.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shrek versus Hagar. Step forward, please.
26-year-old employment specialist Catherine Schreck is suing her former lover, railroad conductor Brian Hager, for an unpaid loan to get back on his feet.
Ms. Schreck, the defendant used to be your boyfriend. According to you, you made a loan to him in the amount of $1,000. Mr. Hager says that you did, in fact, give him $1,000. It was just that, a gift, not a loan. When was this $1,000 check, and it was a check, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given to Mr. Hager?
The check was written on January 22nd, 2002, and it was cashed on January 24th, 2002.
Tell me the circumstances of the check, Ms. Schreck.
He
That's
was
right,
unemployed
just a
at the
second. Tell
time.
me of the circumstances of the check,
The check.
Ms. Schreck.
Mr. Hager was unemployed at the time, and he was also experiencing other financial hardships. And
How long had you been dating him at the time?
Approximately 3 weeks. He had disclosed that his ex-girlfriend was possibly pregnant and that he was the father. At that point, I had determined that I did not want to further the relationship beyond a friendship. However, I felt bad for him at the situation that he was in at the time. He had expressed that he was waiting for his tax return to come in.
Just a second. So if his ex-girlfriend thought she was pregnant, what did that have to do with money?
He didn't need money for that. It was just added stress in his life.
Who cares?
I cared. He was my friend at the time. I felt bad.
What were
for
you
him.
doing?
I'm a facilitator for San Bernardino Jobs and Employment Services Department. I teach welfare recipients how to get jobs.
Good. Oh, you should have taught him. What kind of work were you doing at the railroad, sir?
I'm a conductor.
And you were let go?
No, ma'am. I was just laid off temporarily due to a slowdown.
For how long?
6 months.
And what did you do during that 6-month period?
Things are hard everywhere, so I just I collected railroad unemployment. Which
how much?
It's $1,000 a month.
And where were you living?
I own a home.
And you have a mortgage?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the mortgage?
Mortgage was $1,700.
So you were really short. Where'd you get the other money from? Did you have savings?
Yes, ma'am. I had money saved up in my bank account.
Now, you tell her that you're having some financial difficulties, and so what did you do?
So I offered to give him a loan.
What did you say to him? What did he say to you?
I said, my father just gave me $1,000 for Christmas. I just received my student financial aid. I don't need it at the time, but I will need it in several months. He said that he was expecting his tax return, and as soon as he got that, he would pay me back.
Okay,
so
where were
you?
you?
Of 2 months.
Where were you when you had this conversation with him?
At his home.
Remember what date it was? Was it the 22nd of January?
Yes, it was.
That's not true, Your Honor. When she had given me the check,
Tell me about why you would tell this lady that you're having any financial trouble anyway.
Well, she could just tell that I was stressed. We were upstairs in my room, we were just talking, watching TV, and she just, she said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Well, I'm stressed out right now because, I'm having some financial problems with being laid off." She said, "Well, I got plenty of money. Why don't you just let me help you out?" And I said, No, it'll be okay. I'm going to be going back to work." We talked about it for a little bit longer, and once again, I said, "No, it'll be all right." And I went downstairs, got a drink of water. I was coming back upstairs. She met me halfway. She said, "I'm going to go home. I have to go to work in the morning." I left you a surprise upstairs in your room. And I went back upstairs to my room, and there was a check for $1,000.
So what'd you do?
I called her cell phone and said, "Why'd you leave me this money?" She said, "Because I care about you, and I want to see, you be okay." She said, "Just consider it a gift."
I don't know if she said that. Listen to me. Shh. Are you her mother? You didn't hear the story that he just told? That's more real than what she told me. So you can laugh all you like. That's pretty much what happened, except just consider it a gift. That she didn't say. Don't go overboard, Mr. Hager. When you're ahead of the game, don't stretch the truth. The truth was pretty good for a while. Probably was a gift. I don't believe that you asked her for a loan, that there was a repayment schedule. I don't believe any of that. You have to understand that, Ms. Schreck. But now I have a question for you, because I was interested. When I wanted to hear what you had to say, Mr. Hager, I believe you, that that's how it came about.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's what she would do. And she said, I cared about him being stressed. That's what girls do when they're in like. But then she was no longer in like with you, and you were no longer in like with her, and then we got the $1,000 that you've already spent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you look like a sort of responsible young man. How old are you?
29.
And you own your own home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it didn't work out with her. So wouldn't a responsible man of 29 years old, a homeowner, you own your own car, I'm sure you have a bank account, you told me you lived off savings,
Yes, ma'am.
right? But then you went back to work. Why didn't you start giving her back this money?
She had told me it was a gift.
Mr. Hager, she's not your mother, is she?
No, ma'am.
She's not a sister. She's not even your best friend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then what a moral person does is say, you helped me out, I needed it, we're not together, I want to start paying you back this $1,000, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't that what a moral person does?
Yes, ma'am.
So you do want to be a moral person, don't you, Mr. Hager?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000, that's all.
Yeah, on the case number 336 on the calendar in the matter of Sirakowski versus Doe. You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Sirakowski, you were running some sort of a baby contest or baby pageant.
Yes.
And the defendant entered her baby. She wrote out a check. Her baby entered the contest. Her baby didn't win. She stopped payment on the check. You want your money, right?
Yes, I do.
The defendant says that the contest was rigged, so she stopped payment on the check. Tell me about this pageant.
All right, Your Honor, this whole case is about this lady who has a major...
Shh. Pay attention to my question. Then we'll get along just fine. I said, tell me about the pageant. I'll figure out what this lady has or has not.
All right. It is a national pageant system. We did have a baby contest in it. Her baby did participate.
Where is this pageant or contest held?
It was held in Springfield, Illinois.
How many babies were entered?
There were 9 babies all told, 5 in her age division.
So tell me how it works. You advertise and you say there's going to be a baby contest. These are the age categories. And it says that you have to send in a fee for the contest?
Yes, you do.
Okay, and how much is that fee?
The deposit was $150. She pays the remainder of any fees when she reaches the pageant.
Now, what happens if they win this contest in Springfield?
If they win the contest, they win money.
How much?
She could have won a $500 bond. Actually, she could have won a $2,000 bond as an overall winner.
Overall winner
of one baby of the 2 age divisions.
Okay, so she sent in her $150.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
And then you travel to Springfield.
Correct.
And how much then does she have to pay once she gets to Springfield?
Depending on the events that she entered would decide how much more that she did owe.
What do you mean? I thought she just entered one baby contest.
There's several different categories.
Like what?
Photogenic, there is playwear, there is sleepwear, there are the prettiest eyes, hair, fashion.
And what do you win if you win the prettiest pajamas?
You can win a plaque, a laser engraved plaque.
A plaque?
Yes.
And each time she enters one of these little contests for the baby who looks nicest in their pajamas, there's an additional fee. Is that what you're telling me?
There is a fee for each thing that you do, yes, ma'am.
Sounds like a good business to me. And how many babies, for instance, entered in that contest, if you have there, the best looking baby in pajamas?
They all entered.
All 9 of them?
Yes.
And how much was the cost of each one of them entering that?
Well, it was $35 per category for that.
And how many of these little categories, eyes, pajamas, playwear, how many of those are there?
There are 5 for the babies.
And for that they get a plaque or a certificate if they win each one?
They could get a trophy.
Or a trophy.
The people who win money, crowns, and banners, and the big trophies are the queens.
I'm just talking about the things other than cash. So this is for you a business?
Absolutely, it's a business.
We're not talking about the baby who wins this contest gets to do some sort of a pilot for a movie. This is just pure ego on the part of parents. Is that right?
I would say so, yes.
Absolutely. It's just pure ego. Okay, Miss Doe, now I'll hear you.
Okay, we did do the pageant. My daughter was offered the prizes of the state queens, the savings bond that originated from her state pageant that I attended in Michigan. That's the only reason we attended her nationals, to receive the savings bond. We went to nationals, we did the pageant, everything was fine, except for she didn't have the savings bond. She said she would overnight it to me. So I started on my way home when I started looking over Lily's scores, which were amazing. So I called the hotel.
Just 1 second. So you tell me she owes you a savings bond?
Correct.
Do you owe her a savings bond from a previous pageant?
No, ma'am, I don't owe her a savings bond. She did receive the savings bond. And, in fact, I didn't owe her the bond. The Michigan director did. She overnighted the bond to me. I told Miss Doe the day of the crowning it hadn't arrived yet, but it was coming, and I would send it to her.
Did you send the bond?
Yes, ma'am, I sent the bond.
Well, I assume then you have the number of the bond, that you can trace it. Now, how much was the bond for?
$100, Your Honor.
It's a $100 bond. We're not talking about a lot of money. But if you didn't send the bond to her, and you were supposed to, that you have to do. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good.
That.
Perfect. I don't want to see anything.
This is the letter she received with the bond, and it tells about the bond. So if she didn't get the bond, why didn't she speak up? I got this letter, but I didn't get the bond with it?
That's what she says.
She's lying.
That's what she
Please read
says.
that.
That's what she says. If she did not get the bond, she has to get the bond. All right, but let's go on with why you didn't pay the rest of these fees.
I proceeded on my way home. I didn't check the scores. I just figured, okay, my daughter placed 4th. She's done that before. She's had her wins. She's had her losses.
Well, how many contests have you entered with her?
Beauty pageants, I've done maybe about a dozen of them.
Why?
They have prizes up to $10,000 savings bonds. It's always worth a shot. But anyways, I started checking the scores on the way home. My daughter has amazing scores, 9.8, 9.9. For instance, sleepwear, she got 2 9.8s and a 9.9. Possible 30 points, she got, what would that be, 29.5. I've consulted with 2 other directors who said it's not physically possible 4 babies scored higher than a 29.5 out of 30 possible. Judges don't give straight 10s and straight 9.9s. I called her on the way home twice. Once she was in the pageant still, once I left a voicemail. She didn't return them. I contacted the state director who said to try contacting the parents. Maybe the parents will tell me the daughter's scores.
That's not true.
Well,
Don't speak.
I heard from 2 parents. One,
listen to me.
Okay.
Don't give me hearsay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, I tried emailing her twice when I didn't receive the bond. Didn't get any results. So I filed a complaint with PayPal, the one I paid her through. They tried contacting her. She ignored them also and refunded my money because they couldn't reach her. They gave her 10 days to respond to the notice.
Okay, just one second. PayPal. What's PayPal?
It's an online computer where you can pay them through your debit, credit.
They didn't have anything to do with the bond. You told PayPal that you didn't receive merchandise.
That would be the savings bond.
You wasn't supposed to receive any
second.
merchandise from me.
Shh. Don't speak to her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you have nothing better to do with your time than to take her around to show off her beauty, then what you're telling them from a very early age is that they are judged by the way they look, which is a very stupid thing to do.
And later today,
James had made threats to us and to our home.
I don't want to
When
hear
everything
from
turned violent, we had to have him escorted off the property twice.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Child Beauty Pageant Director Gladys Sirakowski says Victoria Doe owes for the entrance fee for her daughter. Victoria says she stopped payment because the pageant was rigged.
Still, the reason that you stopped payment was not because of this bond that you say you didn't receive, that you say you didn't receive. The problem was you thought your daughter should have won the contest. As a matter of fact, when you talk,
place somewhere higher. Yes, I do. 2 other judges or directors agreed.
They weren't there.
There were 5 babies in the
listen
division.
to me. Don't speak to her. How many times do I have to explain to you not to speak to her? You say in your answer that you believe the pageant was rigged. That's why you didn't pay her. It had nothing to do with the bond.
That's not true.
Well, that's what you say in your answer, madam. And that's the only reason that this PayPal would not pay. If you had said to them, I entered my daughter in a contest and I think the contest was rigged and I want to stop paying, they would say, that's not a reason to stop. Listen, Ms. Doe, you want to schlep your daughter from one state to another to be in beauty pageants. That's totally up to you. I cannot discourage you from doing that. Sometimes she's going to win, sometimes she's not going to win. Sometimes somebody's going to be a favorite, and sometimes the whole thing is going to be a sham. If you have nothing better to do with your time than to take her around to show off her beauty, that's a very sad. How old is she?
2.
I would say at 2 you should be sitting home reading books to her, not schlepping her around from one beauty pageant to another. If you don't understand by now that this lady is in business to make money.
I understand that, Your Honor, but it's also her job to consult with parents.
Listen to no, it isn't.
You can't take the money.
No, it isn't. You got to pay the money. You don't like this contest? Don't enter it again. You think without witnesses I'm going to find that this contest was rigged? It's not going to happen. I want to tell you something. Very, very good expression. Beauty fades, dumb is forever. What you're supposed to do if you have a daughter is to try to teach her that her mind is more important than her face. And I know that this isn't very good for the plaintiff's business, but if everybody out there would try to understand that what's in here is much more important long term than what's here, and that usually children do not thrive from being schlepped from one place to another and primped and made up, dressed up, because then what you're telling them from a very early age is that they are judged by the way they look, which is a very stupid thing to do. Stupidity here does not get rewarded. She's entitled to her money, $321. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm very happy to be getting the money back that's owed to me.
If they weren't going to award my daughter properly, then I deserve the refund.
But I'm not happy with the picture painted of pageants and my business.
Everybody has their own opinions.
She's got a big case of sour grapes.
Yeah, this is case number 408 on the calendar in the matter of Baker versus Baker. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mrs. Baker, the defendant is your former husband, and I gather from your complaint that despite the fact that you are divorced, you still maintain a relationship. Is that correct? Or you did
We
at the
did.
time of this incident. Is that right?
Yes.
You allege that Mr. Baker assaulted you. You want him to pay for the medical expenses as well as lost wages and pain and suffering as a result of that assault. Mr. Baker says the truth of the matter is that you assaulted him, and despite the fact that he did not sustain any physical injury that required treatment, he was in fact arrested, as you were, and he wants you to pay for all of his out-of-pocket expenses, including his attorney's fees. That is his counterclaim. So I'd like you to tell me, Mrs. Baker, your version of the events of the 15th of September.
Okay, September 15th was a Sunday. We were home watching football. My daughter, my oldest daughter, had come into town from her boot camp. And
How old is she?
She is 19. There's animosity between my daughter and Mr. Baker from a previous assault that he assaulted her. Anyway, we were bringing up the fact that I wanted Shauna to come over and visit, and he didn't want her in the house. She came over to make peace.
She had actually come to the house?
Yes, and I said to him, my daughter wants to make peace with you. Would that be okay? And he got very upset and said, no, you were supposed to give me 24 hours notice if she's going to be around, and she needs to leave.
And so she left?
Yeah, so she left.
Okay.
So we continued with the football. I apologized to him. I was trying for him not to be mad. I always have to make sure he doesn't stay mad. And he started calling her just horrible names, and I begged him to stop. I actually was on my knees in front of the couch pleading with him, please stop saying all those horrible things about her. I slapped him on his face, and I realized that I shouldn't have done that because now I'm going to get in big trouble. And he did come up. He got me into a chokehold. At one point, I was actually sitting on the ground. He had me in a neck hold. He had his fist right over top of me, and he said, do you want me to finish this right now? And I stopped talking because up until then I was calling him a coward and that he only bullies girls and he bullies my daughter and bullies women, but he never bullies any men. So anyway, he pushed me back down. My face went down, and I never saw it coming. I never got a chance. And he kicked me in the face and just threw me back. Blood just started gushing out. I leaned over the coffee table. I vomited blood. And I asked him, do you want to call the police or do you want me to call the police? And he ran and hid.
What kind of injuries did you sustain?
They took me to the hospital. I have a broken nose. The broken nose, a concussion.
You have a hospital report?
Yes.
Now, can I see the police report, please?
It's a two-part police report.
Can I have his as well so that I can make sure I have all the report?
Because it was a domestic violence, they had Jane Doe and John Doe.
Had you been drinking?
Yes, we both had been.
You both been drinking vodka and orange juice?
Yes.
Was that the drink of choice? How much had you been drinking that day, both of you?
I was drinking my fourth cocktail in about probably 4 hours.
And you?
Probably about the same.
Think that contributed to getting the situation getting out of hand?
I don't know. He drinks an awful lot, a lot more than I do.
Did you tell the police that after you slapped him in the face with your open hands and there was an altercation where he was pushing you down on the couch that you were trying to hit him in the testicles and stomach?
That's when
Did you tell that to the police?
Yes.
And that was before he kicked you?
Yes.
All right, let me hear your version of these events, sir.
It happened pretty much along the same lines she says, but without a few details. I was sitting on the couch, we were both sitting on the couch watching a football game, and we were cheering for the same team, having a good time, and we had argued previously on the previous day about her daughter, and I have a problem with her daughter, and she has a problem with me. And because of our history, it's just not a good idea to have her in our house while I'm there. And all I asked for was a reasonable time of notice so that I could leave, and she can spend as much time as she wants to with her daughter. She did not go along with it on that night because her daughter's getting out of boot camp and she's here visiting. And I said, fine, but I don't want to be here. So she wants me to make up with her daughter. I don't want to make up with her daughter. She made a false statement against me and told the police that I assaulted her 6 months ago, when in fact it was her and my wife that got into the fight. I don't want her in my house.
Gotcha.
Period.
Okay. So what happened after your wife slapped you?
She didn't slap me, Your Honor. She punched me in the jaw. She punched me there. She punched me a second time in the shoulder. She grabbed my back. Then she grabbed my wrist. She threw me to the floor. I got a rug burn on this knee. Then as I was attempting to stand up, she grabbed me again. I have photos of that also, of everything, of my injuries. Also the medical report on the back. All of these things happened before her nose was injured.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Here you said, so I lightly slapped his mouth to try to stop him. That sounded to me like he went like this. Oh no, don't say those things about Shauna. Well, what you really did was haul off and slug him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Deborah Baker claims she had a knockdown, drag-out brawl with her estranged husband, Bill Baker. Deborah says that's when Bill kicked her in the face.
Mr. Baker, your wife doesn't have a lawsuit, at least a viable one, because she started it. She hit you first.
She hit all of them.
Well, she hit you first, she's hit you second, she tried to kick you, she tried to hit you in your stomach, she tried to hit you in your testicles. She acknowledged that to the police. She had had a little bit to drink. The fact that she ended up with a broken nose, that's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. When you start a fight, sometimes you get the worst of it. You understand that, Mrs. Baker? You started the fight.
I slapped his mouth.
I don't care whether you slapped his mouth. You, okay. I mean, even here, even in your complaint that you filed here, what you did was minimize what you actually did. I assumed that because you knew that I would be looking at the police reports, you came clean. But here you said, so I lightly slapped his mouth to try to stop him from saying the horrible things. That sounded to me like he went like this. Oh no, don't say those things about Shauna. Well, what you really did was haul off and slug him.
No, I did not punch him.
I
did not punch him.
Whether you slugged him with an open hand or a fist, that doesn't make any difference. You hit him first. He's going to tell me that he didn't mean to kick you, that you were struggling and, you know, you're trying to bite him on the toes, I think is what he says here, and that his foot extended and he kicked you in the face. But even if he kicked you in the face, after you slapped him, you can't complain because you got the worst of the fight. That's what happens. You put your hands on somebody first, you get the worst of the fight. You don't come to court and say, now you got to compensate me. You don't waste my time with that. The only question is, you have no lawsuit. The only question is whether he does or not. Because you started this fight, you were furious, and you weren't about to let it go, and you told the police, amongst other things, that you weren't begging him to be nice to Shauna, which is what you tell me in your complaint. You were calling him all kinds of names. You called him a wimp, you called him all kinds of other names before you got kicked.
Yes.
Well,
and I don't think that gives him the right to kick me when my face is down.
I want to tell you something. Where was his face when you slapped him?
He was sitting on the couch.
Well, you make a difference whether your face is down or whether you're sitting on the couch?
He was looking straight at me. He was calling me.
Mrs. Baker, let me tell you something. You don't get any special compensation here because you're a woman and you got the worst of a fight. You started it. You put your hands on him first. You don't get rewarded for that. Case over. Now, you have a counterclaim. You have a counterclaim because you want Mrs. Baker to compensate you for what you spent as a result of being arrested that day. Let me see. Because that sounds viable to me. I don't know why you were arrested. I have no idea why you were arrested. Well, I know why you were arrested. You were arrested because she looked worse than you did. What happened with these cases? They were both dismissed?
Yes.
Yes.
Both decided not to follow through with them. Is that right?
It wasn't our choice. It was the attorneys, city attorneys.
Maybe he's afraid of city attorney's political future. I am not. I don't like domestic violence in whatever form it takes. But that doesn't mean that only women can be the victims of domestic violence. Men can be the victims of domestic violence as well. And unfortunately, this is a case where he was the victim of domestic violence. He was defending himself from you. You were out of control. You were out of control according to what you told the police. According to what you told the police, first you hit him. Then you try to hit him in the testicles. You try to hit him in the stomach. And after that,
Right.
After that, he kicked you.
That was to get him to get
After
me out
that,
of the headlock. He had me in the headlock.
After that,
I was grabbing
he hit you. He kicked you and hurt you. That's what happened. And then he was arrested. His injuries look as bad as yours. He's got scratches all over him. He's got black and blue marks all over him.
Yeah, he had
and he was arrested. The reason he was
headlock.
arrested is because the police are very, very sensitive about domestic violence. When in doubt, arrest everybody. You know, and I can't fault them for that, because there have been lawsuits involving the police in domestic violence. So they say, listen, when in doubt, let the city attorney decide, or the county attorney decide what they're going to do, which is what they did in this case. And the county attorney wimped out. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm awarding Mr. Baker $1,500 on his counterclaim. Your claim is dismissed. That's all.
Judge Judy, step out.
He's attacked her. He kicked her in the head while she was on the floor as well.
I just want to get on with my life and move forward.
It was a cowardly chicken thing to do, and I'm just really glad that I'm out of it.
This is case number 260 on the calendar in the matter of DeGrace versus Rossi. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Grace, you rented a room from the defendant. The tenancy lasted 1 day. You want your money back, and in addition to your money back, you want some punitive damages you claim for invasion of your privacy. Mr. Rossi said you left of your own volition, you broke the terms of your tenancy, and you don't get any money back. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay. What kind of place did you rent to her, Mr. Rossi?
Room inside of a privately owned home.
You're the owner.
Yes.
So you rented her a room in your house with kitchen privileges, I assume?
Correct.
How much did you charge her in rent?
$325.
And what other money did she give you?
First month's additional for utility expenses.
How much did she give you in total?
$575.
Had you advertised for this room?
Yes.
Where?
Buffalo News.
Are you legally able to rent in your home?
Correct.
You are legally able to do that?
Sure.
She signed the lease?
No.
How come?
There was no written contract.
Why not?
Didn't feel the need to.
If you have a tenancy, then you have a contract. It says what your rent is, what security deposit, what it's for, that it'll be returned, what you're going to do with the security deposit, put it in an interest-bearing account. I mean, you want to do all these...
There was no mention of any security deposit, Your Honor.
Well, what was the other $250 for, sir?
Money that she chipped in for the utility expenses the first month.
$250 for your utilities?
Correct.
What utilities cost you $250?
There was no mention of any additional security deposit.
Mr. Rossi, had you ever rented a room before?
No.
Never?
No.
Okay. Who advised you legally?
No one.
That's what I figured. Okay. Now, Mr. Grace, what date did you move in?
January 1st.
When had you seen the room?
3-4 days before it.
And you spoke to Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Who else lives in the home?
His girlfriend.
Just the two of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old are you?
19.
Your mother. Sit down. Yeah, what happened on January 1st when you moved in?
He helped me move my stuff into the apartment, and he was acting very strange.
It was a room.
I'll get to that.
What apartment?
His apartment.
I thought it was a house.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's an apartment that he is renting.
It's an apartment in a building that he's renting?
No, it's just an apartment, like a house, but he's renting.
From whom?
From his landlord.
Is that true?
It's a privately owned house, Your Honor.
Do you own it?
I don't own the house, no.
That's what I asked you before. Did I ask him that question before?
That's what you asked him.
And what did he say? He said yes.
He said, yeah.
You are a renter.
Yes.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Rossi?
Self-employed contractor.
How long have you been a tenant?
6 years.
In the same place?
Correct.
Did you have permission of your landlord to rent?
Yes.
Show me.
I don't have anything in writing.
Really?
No.
What's your rent?
How much do I pay for rent?
That would be the question, Mr. Rossi.
$470.
Plus what?
Utilities.
So your rent is $470, you're charging her $325.
Correct.
Go ahead, Mr. Grace. You say he's acting weird. He is weird.
He was not charging me $325. He was charging me $350.
Okay.
I paid him up front the day before I moved in for $250 for utilities, and the day that I moved in, I paid him $350 for the first month's rent. He refused to give me a receipt saying that I paid him the $350. He said for tax reasons. Then he showed me and my father all these gas bills that he owed. He did not say that he couldn't pay them, he just said that they were too high. And that night, I fell asleep that night. He came in my room, his pit bull first, he didn't tell me he had a pit bull. His pit bull burst into my room and started attacking me, started jumping all over me, biting my arms.
If a pit bull bit your arms, madam, you would know it. Mr. Grace, I don't want you to make up any stories
It was
to
under
embellish.
the covers.
You understand?
Okay, yes.
If a pit bull bites you all over the arms, you would have major scars or some scars.
I was under the covers.
Oh, okay, so his dog came into your room and it scared you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Then he came in my room smoking pot. He got the dog off of me. And he sat down next to me and he started talking sexually to me. And he...
That's a lie.
No, it's not. He's the liar.
You felt uncomfortable there, is that right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Prior to your moving into his room, where had you been living?
At my father's.
Does your father live with your mother?
No.
How long had you been living with your father?
For about 3 years.
Why did you leave your father's house?
I wanted to become more independent.
Were you working?
No, I was going to school.
Full-time or part-time?
Full-time.
Who was going to be paying your rent?
I was.
If you're a full-time student, how are you going to pay your rent?
I am on SSI.
What's the nature of your disability?
Depression, anxiety.
And you take medication for that?
Yes.
You were going to try to make it on your own?
Yes.
Didn't work out. And the next day, you said, I'm going back home. Now, when you left, where did you go?
I didn't go back home. I called up my mother and I was crying.
Okay, and so did you go to your mother's house?
Yes.
And you stayed there?
Yes.
Is that where you're living now?
No.
Where are you living now?
I'm living back at my father's.
Okay, good. Everything okay?
At my father's, yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Rossi, aside from the fact that you illegally rented a room in a place where you were a tenant and you have absolutely no proof of the fact that your landlord gave you permission to do that, I'd like you to tell me what were your out-of-pocket expenses for the 24 hours that Mr. Grace lived in your house? Is not an answer, Mr. Rossi.
Out-of-pocket expenses while she was there for 24 hours?
Yes.
There were none.
Perfect. Then if she left after 24 hours, why didn't you return her money to her?
Because I had to spend time to try to gain access to get myself a new tenant. If I was able to
what
have...
kind of nonsense did he just say? What kind of gobbledygook did he just put together?
I'm not catching it.
You're not catching it. You're not catching it.
You are
Sure. Mr. Grace.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't look like an unintelligent person. A little slimy, but not unintelligent.
And later today...
Tell me what they were.
It was payment for money that I loaned.
That's not what I asked you. That is the conclusion.
The circumstances?
If you don't remember, say I don't remember. Remember that I will test you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 19-year-old Allison DeGrace claims former landlord Stephen Rossi caused her to move out after only 1 day. Allison says during her first night there, Stephen entered her room while she was asleep.
Mr. Rossi, my question was, you illegally rented a room, she moved out, you had absolutely no loss as a result of her moving out. If you were aware of the fact, Mr. Rossi, that when she moved in, that she was on medication, a fact that was evident to me, then why didn't you say, look, this is not working out. She's unhappy. I'm going to give her back her money.
I wasn't aware that she was unhappy, Your Honor.
Listen, she moves all of her things into your house. She comes there with her father?
Correct.
With her father. I mean, if you're an intelligent person, you don't look like an unintelligent person, a little slimy, but not unintelligent. You understand that there's a certain dynamic here going on. This was in what month? January in Buffalo? It gets very cold, but I'm sure your brain thought out enough in Buffalo in January to understand that there's a certain family dynamic going on here. So if it didn't work out and she was unhappy, she was stressed, whatever it was, you say, here's your $600 back. I'm not out any money. It didn't work out, especially since you were doing something that was in violation of your tenancy. You probably fell behind in some bills, and you probably figured you could get somebody to shore up a little bit, and you did, and you got a $600. You managed to pay off the bills you were behind paying off, and you say you can't have your money back. judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Everything he said was a complete lie.
The girl's on lithium. She's on Prozac. She's only 19 years old.
I'm not on heavy medication.
I think she moved into a place. She moved out the following day. It's her loss.
I'm not crazy.
I think the girl's nuts.
53-year-old Carol Tarrant is suing her granddaughter-in-law, 25-year-old nursing assistant Stacy Rollins, for breaking her wrist during an assault and for stealing her property.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, case number 245 on the calendar in the matter of Tarrant versus Rollins. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Ms. Tarrant, Ms. Rollins is or was married to your grandson.
Right.
And according to your complaint, she and your grandson lived with you for a period of time.
Yes.
And then they separated. She left.
Yes.
So far, is that correct?
Majority of it.
What's wrong with what I said?
We did live with her and everything, but my husband asked me to leave.
Well, you separated. That means you did separate.
Yes, and we are still married.
They separated.
Yes.
She left.
Yes.
And then you claim that she came back to get some of her property.
Yes,
When
twice.
she came back to get her property, there was an altercation involving you, as a result of which you broke your wrist in 4 places.
Yes.
And the defendant also took some property of yours.
Yes.
The defendant says you fell, she had nothing to do with breaking your wrist, and she has no property of yours. Is that right?
The only property I have of hers is this bag that she asked for. And I've been asked
Anything
my
in the
husband to
bag?
come get it. I have no idea. I've never opened it.
Can I get the bag?
It
from you,
wasn't
please?
mine. I put it off to the side.
Okay. Let's see what's contained in the bag. And then we'll get to this altercation. Well, one of the things you said she took was camera.
Right.
Is that right? This looks like a camera case. And there's a camera in here.
Yes.
Okay. And a couple of other rods and ends, but I assume that this is the majority of what you're asking for back.
Yes, it looks like.
Okay, good. So let's give this back to the plaintiff, please. So then we're just going to deal with this injury to your arm and this assault. A few questions. What date did your husband ask you to leave?
June 29th.
How long had you been living with the plaintiff?
We moved in there July 5th, 5 days after we were married.
Of the previous year?
Mm-hmm.
So you were there almost a year?
Almost a year.
And who moved in? You, your husband, and you have a child?
Yes.
How old is your child?
She's 5.
But she's not the child of this marriage?
No, she's not.
Now, when your husband asked you to leave, did he ask you to leave on the 29th of June?
Yes, he did.
So you must have had an argument.
I'm not really sure. He was been very stressed lately and said he needed some time and asked me to leave, and so
And you
I
did. When he asked you to leave, did you give him your key?
No, from my understanding, he just needed time. He just needed a little space.
And what did you tell Miss Tarrant when you left?
I did not speak to any of them.
Really? I mean, you
Yeah.
lived with the lady for a year. You didn't have any conversation with her at all?
No, my husband asked me to leave, and I grabbed my daughter and a couple things, and we left. I figured I was coming home that night.
But you didn't come home that night?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I said he needed more time.
Now, when was this incident when you did, in fact, return, and there was an incident involving Miss Tarrant and her wrist?
That was the first time I spoke to her. That was August 2nd.
Tell me about it.
We arrived at the house.
Who's we?
Me, my couple family members, my friends.
How many people arrived in the house?
In the house there was 9 total, I believe.
That you brought with you?
Yes, to move my things out. I had not spoken to my husband, refusing contact. I figured...
He refused contact?
Yes. And I figured my daughter's going to be starting school, I need more of her things, and I also needed more clothes. And so we went to go get my things, and upon arriving, found all of them packed up and shoved into one little room of the house.
How did you get into the house?
With the key.
The key that you had?
Yes.
Didn't it occur to you to call Miss Tarrant first and say, we're coming over to get my things?
Well, my things were there. My husband and I are still married. That is also my husband's home.
This home belonged to whom?
Both her and my husband.
It's my home, but I put my grandson's name on it for when something happens to me, he'd be able to sell it.
When you met your husband, where was he living?
In an apartment.
In an apartment?
Yes, because he didn't want to live with his grandmother anymore.
Fine. But at some point you moved in with her?
Yes.
So you and your husband moved into her home?
Correct.
So it didn't occur to you, Miss Rollins, to pick up the phone as a human being and say to her, I'm coming with 9 people to your house to get my property. Is that time okay for you? Is that day okay for you? I haven't been there in over a month. That strike you as something that would have been a nice thing to do?
Well, every time I called the home or whatever, I was usually hung up on. So I did not have that opportunity.
Did you ever speak to her?
No.
Well, your husband works. Is that
correct?
True? Did you
and
ever
that's why we went during the day, because I knew he would be gone and she would be there. She usually never leaves the home.
Good, so that you knew that she would be there. Why didn't you call her first and say, we're coming over to pick up my stuff? Is today a good time for you?
Because it was a good time for me and I was just going to go get my things.
Well, you got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve. The lady takes you into her home with a child that's totally unrelated to her. You stay there for a year. You and your husband have some sort of a falling out, and I don't even want to get into that because I have no idea what it's about. But you're gone for well over a month. You don't come by yourself to pick up a few little things. You come with 9 people invading her house without so much as a telephone call first, and you expect her not to get agitated?
No, I understood why she was agitated.
You did?
But I also felt, that, and she said herself that I was there to pick up my things.
But you understood she was agitated because 9 people invaded her house.
Oh, no, when she got there, none of us were in there. Except for the minister's wife, who was keeping her dogs under control so they didn't get loose.
Tell me how you broke your wrist.
After I came home and seen everything was in the trucks, I seen some things out in the truck that my grandson told me not to let her take. And so I was walking out toward the trucks. She grabbed a hold of my arm, and I have osteoarthritis, so I'm not really that stable. That's why I can't run. I have to walk slowly. And as she grabbed my arm and turned me around, I fell. And I went down on my right wrist.
You have the medical records?
Yes, I do.
Can I see them, please?
Can I get help? Because she has everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to hear your version of what happened, how her wrist got broken.
I'm assuming her wrist got broken when she fell.
Yeah.
There was trucks and cars and everything in the driveway and so on. We were moving out. And she came out of the back porch door and started yelling. And then she had noticed a vacuum cleaner that was in the back of my stepfather's truck, which was parked out on the road. And she just said, "You're not taking that vacuum," and started running. And right about the part where the grass and the sidewalk meet, there's holes and everything in that yard, and I'm assuming she fell. I was pushing a lawnmower in the driveway at the time and walked over there to help her. Said, "Grandma, look what you did," and tried to help her up. And that was when she proceeded to throw the phone that she had in her hand at me, and I decided to walk away.
Good, you're responsible for her broken wrist. I don't care whose version of the events is accurate.
How is
I don't care whether you held her and twisted her around, or she fell when she was running after one of the trucks that you brought with you. You're responsible. You created the situation by not making a prior arrangement with her and invading her home with 9 people who were uninvited to her home.
They knew I was coming.
Who's they?
They all did. They packed up my things. They were waiting for me to come get my things.
On that day?
I didn't even know my things were packed up. They assumed.
Listen, don't be a swift talker. You understand exactly what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you is they had packed up your things, put them away in an orderly way. You said in one corner of a room. That's what you told me.
It was all shoved into one room.
That's fine, shoved into one room. It was all packed up. She was expecting a telephone call from you to say, "Grandma, can I come over on the 2nd of August to pick up my things? Is that okay with you?" Sure. You're going to bring people? Yes, I'm going to bring 9 people with me to your house. 9 people to help me move. Because I know you're going to be alone that day, because I know he's working. So I'm going to come with 9 people, some of whom you know, some of whom you don't know. We're going to come into your house. I just want you to be alert to that so that you don't get frightened, you don't get scared. You did none of that. You just went when it suited you. It didn't suit you to go on August 1st. It didn't suit you to go on July 29th. It didn't suit you to go on July 28th. It suited you to go on August 2nd. Maybe it didn't suit her for you to go. Maybe she was having a bar mitzvah for somebody in her house on August 2nd. And it wouldn't be convenient for her, for you to be removing stuff with 9 trucks. So you are responsible. Because if she got agitated because you hadn't made arrangements for an orderly transition.
But that was still considered my home.
It is not. No way. No way is it your home. You abandoned your home. You abandoned her home.
I did not abandon the home.
Oh, yes, you did. You abandoned the home. You were gone for 32 days, according to you, and decided that would be a good day for you to come and retrieve your property. And you and your husband moved into her home. He didn't live there when you got married. You said he lived in an apartment. And the two of you moved in, maybe because his apartment was unsuitable for you and your child. But you moved into Grandma's house.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
He promised to pay me back. But then he comes over to my place and he goes, Janice, just consider yourself a $5,000 hooker.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Carol Tarrant says her granddaughter-in-law, Stacy Rollins, owes for breaking her wrist and stealing her property. Stacy says Carol's injuries are her own fault.
You moved in to her house, and you knew it was her house. So you're responsible for her injuries. Got a lot of nerve. Do you have any medical coverage for these bills?
Medicare paid most of it.
Okay, so you're really suing for pain and suffering.
Well, I have a $9,000 hospital bill that they didn't cover.
Really?
Yes.
Why not?
They paid $2,000 of it.
And they didn't cover $9?
No.
And you still have the house in your name?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's a problem. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested, $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I knew that Judge Judy would get the truth.
I guess she just got what she wanted, like she usually does.
I don't know what I could have done. I had the phone in my hand. I guess I should have called the police as I was walking out.
There's no settling outside the courtroom with this family.
It was very frustrating.
She's playing this little innocent act in front of the judge of an elderly lady. And she's not.
I was so upset when I came to her home and she was holding her arm.
I do feel sorry, but you shouldn't have been running through the yard like that.
She was in a lot of pain.
Relation with the son, I'm sure everything was just deteriorated, unfortunately.
I just hope everything can be settled and that they could just leave us alone.
I'm trying to help others just to get out in life.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Morton. Step forward, please.
Nurse Danae Johnson and her husband, Robert, are suing their niece's boyfriend, 18-year-old handyman Derek Morton, for damaging their car.
Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, is this your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Your daughter was dating the defendant.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. And you didn't approve?
Absolutely not.
According to your complaint, the defendant purposely damaged your car, or a truck that you were in. And it appears to me that when you came home one day, your daughter wasn't home, you went to the police station to find out if they could help. You thought she was with the defendant. You were on your way home, you saw his truck, you decided to follow his truck, to confront him, and talk to him about dating your daughter. Is that right?
Yes.
And it was during this attempt to talk to him that he damaged your vehicle.
No.
Why don't you tell me what happened? You go home, you don't find your daughter. You go to the police, you're on your way home. You see his truck. Pick it up from there.
We followed the truck and he took a turn.
You followed the truck?
Yes.
Go ahead.
He takes a turn down a road that has a circle drive on it, and as he went into the circle drive, I stopped and just sit there waiting for him to make the turn and come out the other side.
So you blocked his way?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
My husband got out of the car, went to the passenger side of the car, pulled our daughter out of the car.
You go over to the passenger side. Open the door?
Yep.
And how did you pull your daughter out?
I grabbed her by the arm and pulled her on out of there, and
And what is she saying to you as you're pulling her out of the car?
she started screaming. I don't know exactly what she was saying, but she was yelling.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Danae and Robert Johnson claim they spotted their 14-year-old daughter driving with 18-year-old Derek Morton. The Johnsons say when they pulled them over, Derek damaged their car.
Okay, you get her out of his truck.
Right.
And what do you do with her when you get her out of his truck?
Well, she's standing beside me. I kind of leaned in my head in there to tell him to not be messing with my daughter, and that's when he started to take off. And he kind of hit me with his truck on the leg, and then I was worried about her because she was out of the car, and he started coming toward her and hit her with the truck.
Hit her body or hit her car?
Hit her body.
Our daughter was jumping on his back and telling Derek, go, take off, take off. I got out of the car to go get my daughter, was what I was doing. And
to pull
she started
your daughter
screaming.
off your husband's back?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And she was yelling, take off, Derek, take off. And as I rounded the back of the car, He just floored it and was taken off. And I threw myself out of the way. He caught my arm with his truck, kind of spun me around a little bit. He went on down the road, and I was furious, to say the least. We all got in the car, and we're headed to the police station. And we get down the gravel road a little ways, and Derek's just kind of toying around, going 3, 4, or 5 miles an hour, you know. Not really fast enough that you could follow him, so I stopped and looked down to grab an ink pen to have my husband write down his license plate number so there could be no question who it was. And as I was looking down, Bob and Jennifer yelled, "Watch out, Mom!" And before I could look up, he had already thrown his truck in reverse, reversed into me, and then it takes off again.
That's what happened. So I was absolutely right. You went to talk to him and get your daughter out of his company, and it was during that time that you alleged that he both assaulted you with his truck and assaulted you with his truck and caused damage to your vehicle. Right?
Right.
That's what I said when we started. So I only have a couple of questions for you, Derek. How old are you?
18.
How old is she?
15.
14.
14. You get the drift that her parents aren't crazy about you.
Yeah, but I want to tell my side of the story too. So.
I'm ready.
All right. They said it's a bunch of bullshit.
Now listen to me. Listen to me. Derek, do you know the difference between rain and shine?
Yes.
Listen to me. Look at me. I don't want you to follow it through. You know the difference between rain and shine? Yes?
Yes.
Do you know the difference between black and white?
Yes.
Do you know the difference between a playground and a courthouse?
Mm-hmm.
Speak.
Yes.
In a playground, you can use
Yes.
whatever language you like. In a courthouse, watch your mouth, or then I don't listen to you. Do we understand each other, Derek?
Mm.
Now, you're going to start to tell me your story again, but you're going to leave out the playground language. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Speak.
Yes.
Good. Now I'll hear you.
All right. I was driving down the road, right? And then she was on my bumper.
Correct. That's exactly what she was doing. They did exactly the wrong thing. Whatever they did was wrong, mother and father.
Can you let me finish my story?
Did you just hear what I said? I said whatever they did was wrong.
Well, be quiet while I'm talking. All right, this you.
Oh, get him out of here. Listen, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, sometimes God did not shine on you right. God did not shine on him and give him brains. It gave him the brain cells of an amoeba. You know, we all had to start from someplace. So I understand if you don't want your daughter to have anything to do with him. However, you went about it the wrong way. Do you understand?
Yes.
You went around it the wrong way. Your initial reaction was right. You went to the police station and you said, my underage daughter is with this 18-year-old cretin, and I want him out of her company. But you cut him off. You touched his car, sir. When you grabbed open the door to his car, you put your hands on his property in a threatening manner. You created a situation where your own daughter is jumping on your back. Is that ridiculous?
Well, I wasn't going to do nothing. The cops told me if I assaulted him, I'd be going to jail. So
Listen to me, sir. You were creating a situation that potentially was inflammatory because he doesn't have any brains. He reacts. He reacts like an animal. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
And you probably knew that. I assume that you knew that. Maybe she doesn't know that. But you were smart enough to know that. You don't confront an animal. You let professionals, exterminators, confront animals. That's what the police are there for. You don't do it yourself, because when you do it yourself, you get your truck banged up. And that's what happens, and you got to pay for it. You still see him? Are you sure?
I'm sure. I think he's a jerk.
A jerk? Huh. To put it mildly, jerk. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, go home. Take your daughter home. Goodbye. That's all.
Yeah, this is case number 2.
Nothing in that house was hurt.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bloom parent versus parent. Step forward, please.
57-year-old Shirley Bloom and her daughter, 23-year-old teacher Terry Parent, are suing Shirley's son, 21-year-old plumber's assistant Jess Parent, for an unpaid loan to keep him out of jail.
According to your complaint, there came a time when your son was facing a prison term or facing jail unless you could come up with some money. You took out a loan so he would have the money, but you needed some collateral, and the only collateral that you had was your mother's car, which you did put up as collateral for this loan. Your brother hasn't paid back the loan. What was he facing jail about?
It was for deferred adjudication, and he had hot checks.
A deferred adjudication, which means if he paid back the money, he wouldn't go to jail.
Right.
Okay, and how much money did he have to come up with?
Altogether, it was like $1,900.
So did he come to you and ask you for the money?
Actually, he came to my mom.
What did he say to you, Miss Blum?
He told me that if he didn't have this money by this certain time, that his probation officer, when his probation was off, that they would automatically give him a year. And if he went to jail, then he would go automatically to prison.
You then spoke to your daughter?
Right.
I used my mother's vehicle. It's a '97 Kia Sophia, and got the lease and the amount of money I needed.
And what were the monthly payments on it?
Every week it was $38.72. On March 23rd, 2001, I paid the loan off, which he didn't help me other than maybe, 6, 7 payments of all.
$871 he gave you back.
I had to pay off the loan, which was $1,987.22.
Okay, let's hear from you.
I disagree with everything that was just said, because I'd give my mom money to the fact that if the baby, my sister's baby, needed something, I'd give him some money. Every time I got paid, I'd give them some money.
That's not true.
To help them out.
That's not true, Jess. You know that.
I mean, anytime they needed help, I would help them out. And I mean, it's just been going on like this since I was little. I mean, she's been wanting money. I mean, I had a job.
Let's go back.
Okay.
You faced a term of imprisonment on a deferred adjudication. You had to come up with some money, all at one time. Did you ask your mother for the money?
No, ma'am. It wasn't that much.
Just a second. Okay. Did you discuss with your mother the fact that if you didn't come up with a bulk piece of money, you were going to go to jail?
No, ma'am. I had a job, and it wasn't that much money. For deferred adjudication, I was not going to, it wasn't having to pay a fine.
Is what you're telling me that your sister never gave you a check to give to the court for fines?
No.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
And that was on or about August of 2000?
Yes. I had a job. I was working.
That's not what I asked you.
Okay.
Are you telling me that you never, in August of 2000, needed a bulk sum of money to pay fines and other bad checks? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
What's the name of your probation officer?
Dolores.
What's her phone number?
I have no idea.
Oh, sure you do. You have to call and check in with your probation officer, sir.
I went and seen her once a month. I never had a call and check or nothing.
Does that name sound familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
Do you have the telephone number of the probation officer?
No, I don't. I never got anything like that. He would never give it to me because he didn't want me to talk to her.
Do you have a copy of the check?
No, we just have the copy of the loan.
The agreement, the lease agreement.
And I have these are checks that I picked up with some of that money for him because he was going to go to jail that day if they weren't paid. And the rest of it I gave it to him to pay his fine.
Well, you certainly made restitution on that date, sir. So that takes care of your argument that you didn't need a bulk of money in August.
I didn't. I had to pay a certain payment before that date.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, why would we get the loan if, I mean, I have my own responsibilities,
What did
more or
you do
less.
with the check that you got for it?
I cashed it and I gave him my mother went and paid off some of his hot checks, which we gave you the paperwork on that.
And the rest of it we gave to him.
How many bad checks did you write?
I wrote, I'd say around 4 or 5.
That's not true.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
I wrote about 4 or 5 hot checks because I had gotten kicked out of their house. So.
What'd you get kicked out for?
Well, she wanted more money from me, and I only had so much money. I was getting.
That's not
I
true,
gave
Jess.
her most
That's
of
not-
my check.
No.
Yes, that is true. Every week when I got paid, I got a certain amount. That's all I would get. I'd give her the rent. I didn't mind paying rent. I don't mind doing that. You know,
Well,
I
how
feel
old are you?
responsible. You know,
How
I'm
old are you?
21. I don't mind paying rent at all. That's part of life. You know. But I mean, you shouldn't work all week for just like $50
When you have
a
that
week
many
when you
bills.
give your whole check to your mom. I mean, that's supposed to be your mom, not your money taker.
That's right.
you
And
know.
it's supposed to be your mom.
Don't talk to him.
Your Honor, I keep a diary because he accused me several times of taking his money. He'd give me money, right. by the end of the week, he would borrow it all back. And he'd say, Mom, why don't I have any money? So I kept a little calendar. And every time he got money from me, I wrote it down. And I made copies for you, if you want to see them, showing since the time we had to get him out of jail the first time, which was like almost $700 that weekend, getting him out of jail when he got in trouble, that he never paid back.
You been arrested since, sir?
No, ma'am.
How many times have you been arrested altogether?
I'd say twice.
Yes.
I'd say twice.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
say.
it wasn't nothing besides traffic tickets. I mean, that's why. I got
lying to a judge.
That's why I got. Well, the second time I got thrown in jail for lying to an officer, and the officer came back and put me in jail for that.
Oh, good. And what's next?
And then the other one was for traffic tickets.
And the other one was for bad checks.
No, I never got thrown in jail for bad checks.
No, because Mama helped and paid.
No, because I worked and paid for them.
No, you got arrested for
The-
bad. Just a second. You got arrested for bad checks, didn't you?
No,
he never
I
got
never got
arrested.
arrested for
Never
bad
got
checks.
arrested
No,
for the bad
because I
checks.
paid him off.
No,
he came
so
to
I
us
see.
whining about
I
he was
see.
gonna
He
go to
was
jail.
on probation for something else.
Right.
Oh. Oh, what, for lying to an officer?
Right.
Yeah.
What'd you lie to him about?
I told him a different name because I knew I had a traffic ticket out.
Oh, so, and that wasn't hard to lie to the officer, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Good.
It was a
Judgment for the
class-
plaintiff in the amount of $1,987.
Matter of Brock versus Courtney. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Brock, you are a peace officer, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Your complaint is that you made a traffic stop of the defendant for speeding, and that subsequent to giving him a ticket, he filed a complaint against you, which was patently false, with Internal Affairs causing an investigation. And while you were cleared of all charges, that report will remain on your file permanently, and you want him to pay you damages.
That's correct.
That's what the case is about. So I have a couple of questions, then I'm going to go to Mr. Courtney. How long have you been a peace officer?
I've been a peace officer, Your Honor, for approximately 9 years.
And what is your assignment, sir?
I'm assigned to the traffic division as a motor officer and an accident investigator.
When did this incident happen?
The incident occurred on September 2nd of 2000,
What time of day?
approximately 8:30 in the morning.
And what was the reason that you stopped the defendant's car?
On that date and time, Your Honor, I was in uniform working speed enforcement in my jurisdiction when my attention was drawn to a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed on a street named El Camino Real. My visual estimation of the vehicle's speed was approximately 50 miles an hour, which is about 15 miles an hour over what's posted for that roadway. And that roadway in itself has numerous driveways and businesses in this particular area, which restricts a sight distance for vehicles traveling.
Whatever. So you thought he was going about 15 miles over the posted speed limit.
That's correct.
You pulled him over.
Yes.
When you pulled him over, you identified yourself as a peace officer?
Yes, I did, and I was in uniform.
Mr. Courtney, I'm going to come to you next. And I want you to tell me your version of what happened after you were pulled over.
The officer came up to my window, and I inquired of him as to why
Just
I
tell me
was
what
being
you
stopped.
said. I inquired of him. Tell me what you said to him. He came up to your window. Did he say anything to you, or did you say something first?
He asked me for my identification.
Did he say, can I have your identification
Yes.
or your driver's license and registration?
Exactly. Yes, he
No.
did.
Which one?
He asked me for my driver's license and for registration.
Did you give it to him?
I looked for it, and then I suddenly remembered that all of my identification, along with my passport, was in my briefcase, which was sitting at home in another vehicle with my driver waiting to take me to LAX. I was on my way to Europe.
And you told him you didn't have
Yes, I did.
driver's license nor the registration for the car.
Yes.
What did he say to you then?
He asked me for my particulars, my age, my date of birth, my address, my height, my weight, color of my eyes, and I gave him that information.
Okay. Go ahead.
And he then returned to his motorcycle, which was probably 5 to 10 yards, parked behind my car, and he was there for quite some time.
And then?
Then he returned to the car, and he presented me with a ticket to sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed it.
And then?
And then he tore the ticket off, and he left.
So that all sounds very nice. And then what did you do?
Well, there was a lot that transpired in between
Well,
because
I'm
of his
asking you,
actions.
we're not going to play I've Got a Secret in 20 Questions, Mr. Courtney. So far, you told me what happens when you make a routine traffic stop. License, registration you don't have, checks your ID, gives you a ticket, and you both go on your way. That sounds all
the
very
gentleman
nice.
here, while he's composed today, was
No,
quite...
no, just tell me what happened,
He was
Mr.
agitated.
Court.
He was very agitated.
Tell me, sir. He comes and he asks for your license and registration. You don't have it. I want you to tell me point by point, which I thought you did, what it was that caused you to file a complaint against him.
When he approached me, Your Honor, he appeared agitated.
How did he appear agitated?
When someone looks at a person and they're not composed, possibly he had a bad start to his day, I don't know, and he did...
So he appeared agitated?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Go ahead.
Then, when I told him that I didn't have my identification with me, he just didn't seem to believe me, and he became more agitated.
No, don't tell me agitated. What did he say to you, sir?
He told me he was going to take me to magistrate's court.
Okay, go ahead.
And that was after I had informed him that I was on my way to LAX to fly to Europe, so I assumed he was going to take me to magistrate's court. I was going to miss my flight.
So what did you say to him?
I just basically cooperated with him and gave him the information that he wanted to. I don't recall exactly what I said to him at that moment, but what I did do is I got on the phone and I dialed 911 right away.
Why?
Because of how he was conducting himself.
So far, I haven't heard anything, sir.
Well,
untoward.
I'm about to share it with you. He was, he was very animated.
How animated?
He was animated to the point whereby he was in my face, in my car.
How was he in your car?
His face was literally 12 to 18 inches from my face, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat, rather than having a good 3-foot distance where people can just communicate with one another. He was in the car, so to speak. He was in my face. He was not happy. He was in a bad mood. He was agitated.
Your Honor, this man is perjuring himself.
Just a second. Now, after he left, according to you, there were no words that he said to you. It was his affect. Is that right?
No, he threatened to take me to magistrate's court, and
That
I
is
couldn't
his right.
understand why.
That is his right to take you to magistrate's court, sir. So that's not a threat. There were no words that he said to you that were threatening. It was his affect.
And his hand on his gun, Your Honor.
Yes.
This was just a simple traffic stop
Well,
on a
it's
Saturday
simple-
morning.
It's a simple traffic stop, Mr. Courtney, except that the person who was stopped had no identification, had no license, had no registration. So what initially is a traffic stop becomes something else when there is no identification. I'm going to repeat myself. Other than the fact that you say his affect appeared to be agitated, he did not threaten you in any way. He didn't curse at you in any way. Is that right?
That's not correct, Your Honor.
Well, what did he say to you, sir? That's what I'm trying to get to,
The
Mr. Courtney.
intonation in his voice, he was very abusive in how he addressed me.
Tell me, sir, what he said.
I don't recall the exact words, Your Honor, but just the manner in which he conducted himself.
May I
He didn't
s-
comport himself properly.
All right. May I see the report that was filed, please?
This is a letter that he wrote to my department
I'd like
for
to see
Internal
that.
Affairs. That's the letter right there.
Your Honor,
things-
may I make a point, please?
Yes.
Some of the points he made in the letter using the words...
Go ahead. Shh. Just a minute. Go ahead.
This incident occurred September 2nd. The Criminal Investigation Department conducted its investigation, wrote a letter back saying that they weren't going to pursue anything against the gentleman. Therefore, I assumed it was fait accompli, everything was over. I talked with my lawyer here in Beverly Hills. He said, pack it in, forget it. So I shredded everything.
Well, I have it here.
No, I appreciate that, but I wanted to peruse it prior to coming on the show.
Okay. Well, in the letter, Mr. Courtney, that you've written to the police department, you have accused the plaintiff of not only menacing affect, but of cursing at you on at least 3 occasions, something that one would necessarily remember if you remember his affect. I'm going to make a mark.
Your Honor, while you were
Just a
looking at...
second. Just a second, sir. Would you show this to the defendant, please?
Thank you.
Read the portions that I've checked.
I apologize. I don't have my glasses with me.
It's a strong
Are
enough
we in
for
the same age?
anybody.
We're in the same age range?
I'm younger than you are.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sheriff's Deputy Edwin Brock claims Donald Courtney filed a false complaint after a traffic stop. Donald claims Deputy Brock was verbally abusive.
Can you read with my glasses?
Yes, I can. Perfectly.
Now, I'll take them back. And the paper.
Thank you.
Without going into graphic detail, well, I best go into graphic detail because we have a record here. When I was signing the ticket in shrieking tones, according to you, he said, sign the ticket or you're going to court now. That I would remember. Then, you say, he said to you, with his finger, you and your limousine. And then you say he said to you, when you said, please just give me the ticket. And at this point he erupted and said, I've had enough from you. Those are things that I would remember if I were telling a story, Mr. Courtney. Mr. Brock, according to your complaint, sir, you made this stop. And the time you made the stop, you took out a recording device. Is that right?
Essentially, Your Honor, yes.
Not essentially. That's what you said here. You said, I got off my bike and turned on my tape recorder.
Yes. It's a device that I wear on my belt. It's not something that I have to remove from a stored place.
I understand that.
Okay.
And you take that off because it's protocol to turn on the tape recorder so that you can memorialize the stop. Is that right?
That's correct.
Where is it?
I have a copy of the tape right here.
I'd like to hear it.
Okay.
Bird.
It's difficult to hear, Your Honor, because of the background noise of traffic, but you absolutely will not hear foul language from either party on that tape.
What are you stopping me for? Still the speed limit. What's the speed limit? 35? 35 where? On Speedy Boulevard, the Garden Gate. Are you serious? I'm very serious. Jesus Christ, I lived here for years. I never knew it. I thought it was 50. Are you serious? From where? Where is it 35? From where to where? Encinitas Boulevard to Garden View Road. Okay, which is Garden View? Just past. Oh. Are you serious? No, that street's been there for 35 years. No, I know, but I thought it was 50 the whole way down. Wow. I'll be damned. Well, let me start with your registration and insurance. How about that? I can't believe it. I'm flying to Zurich right now. I'm trying to get to the airport. How do you go to the airport without identification? Because I'm going home. The limo's picking me up. I see. Take your vehicle insurance with you? Nope. That's the only one you have? No, I have one. Okay. Bring your insurance report with you. Do not admit guilt to the charge of being cited here for the speed violation. You have to appear in court for the charge. Do not admit guilt to anything. Okay. Your court date is November 13th, 8 o'clock. Okay? You said I'm not admitting guilt. Well, your constitutional right, though. Even if you agree to... What are you charging me for? Speed violation, the proof of insurance in the vehicle. Well, what is the speed violation? What do you mean, what is it? Well, what was I doing? Well, you're over speeding 48 miles an hour in the I mean, really, let me say something. You really have nothing better to do than to stop me 15 miles an hour over the speed limit in this town? I mean, come on. Let me ask you a question. When should I start writing tickets? Well, let me say something to you. No, don't say anything else. Why not? I can say whatever I'd like. You sure can. Yeah. Why you sign a ticket, though? You're going to sign a ticket and not delay me any longer. The ticket asked you nicely, and I did ask you nicely. Don't be silly. No, there's no more we have to do. I'm standing out here. I don't care who you are. Well, I did the last time. Let me tell you what happened the last time. I don't care what happened to the last officer. I'm hanging out here with these cars going 45 miles an hour. Now, I want you to sign the ticket so I can terminate. You want to terminate the contract by signing the ticket here. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You're arguing? I'm trying to talk to you now. I don't want to do it anymore. You know why? It's going downhill. You're getting the ticket. For what? You're getting the ticket whether you like it or not. I don't mind. Okay, I would like you to sign so I can go. I'm going to sign it. Relax. You can voice your opinion in court. If you sign the ticket and you can relax on your trip to Switzerland or wherever else you I'll take it. You want to go sign in front of a magistrate, you can sign it. If not, you sign it right here. They can be taped later on. Right here on the side of the road is not the place to have debate with cars going behind me at 40 and 50 miles an hour. I'll tell you, this is not the end of it. Respect, you know what? Not the end of it. You won't be the first one. Oh, no, you don't know what happened last time I took an officer's report. Here's your copy. Hang on, don't go. I need your things, your thumbprint in case since you don't have any driver's license. Would you put your right thumb on the pad right here, please, and just lightly touch the box? Good day. I got a problem. Drive safely.
You're way out of line, Mr. Courtney. Way out of line. Didn't you know he had a tape recorder going?
Yes, I did.
Well, if you knew he had a tape recorder going, sir, and I've just listened to the entire conversation that the two of you had, there is nothing that he did to you that was untoward that day.
Respectfully, you weren't there. You
I
didn't
don't care
see
whether
him.
I was there or not. I heard you.
I was there. I saw his facial remarks, his hand on the gun, and furthermore, I have a witness here with me today who will testify that he physically assaulted her in a court hallway 3 months later.
Do you want to know something? I am not interested in your witness because that case, if it's a case at all, has absolutely nothing to do with this.
Yes, it does. We
Because
appeared in
you
court on that
wrote this letter in which you allege, in this letter, which went to Internal Affairs, that he on no less than 3 occasions cursed you. He did not. That was clearly a lie. Now, maybe its intention was to get somebody's attention, but it was a lie because I've just listened to this entire conversation.
Your Honor, the validity of the authenticity of that tape has not been proven.
To my satisfaction, Mr.
Not
Courtney.
to mine and not in a court of law.
Sir, you've subjected yourself to this jurisdiction. This isn't the first case that I've heard, Mr. Courtney. And this isn't the first tape that I've listened to.
Your Honor,
and
I
I'm
asked
telling
for
you
that information. It
and
was not
I'm-
provided.
And I'm telling you that the only one who was giving a hard time that day was you. As a matter of fact, there is some indication on this tape that you threatened him.
Where is
You
that?
said to him something about the last cop who gave me a ticket. And he replied very quietly, I don't care about the last cop that gave you the ticket. Please just sign this ticket. And he didn't threaten to take you to magistrate's court, sir. He only said to you, you can either sign the ticket here, sir, or you can sign it in magistrate's court. Why don't you please sign it here? Then you can be on your way.
But I did sign it.
Mr. Courtney, you were vindictive. The complaint that you made against him was totally without merit, based upon that tape, which is what cleared him. Very smart of the police department to have you carry around these tapes, guys. I want to tell you something. It should have been done a long time ago. Now, I don't believe that Mr. Courtney knew that you had that tape, because if he did, I doubt very much whether he would have consented to appear here today. He did. You're suing him for $5,000. I take judicial notice of the fact that a complaint to Internal Affairs remains on your record, even if there is a finding at the end of an inquiry that there was no basis for the complaint. It does remain on your record. I am granting you your complaint in the amount of $5,000. This case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Yeah, this is case number 228 on the calendar in the matter of O'Connell versus Cruz. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. and Mrs. O'Connell, the defendant is your former daughter-in-law.
Correct.
Married to your son, and they had 3 children, according to your complaint. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
right? You claim that you made a loan to her in order for her to be able to relocate, I assume after the divorce,
Yes, ma'am.
with 3 children.
Yes.
And she has not repaid that loan.
Yes.
And the defendant says that loan was no loan, but a gift. So we will get to that. And she has a cross complaint. I don't know what that's about, but I'm sure you'll explain it to me. Okay.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Just a second. I have questions. Okay. At the time that you advanced this money to the defendant, where were you living?
The state of Florida.
And where was the defendant living?
State of Maryland.
And tell me the circumstances surrounding her moving from Maryland to Florida.
Mainly, Your Honor, is that she had called me up on a Sunday afternoon, practically in tears. She didn't know what to do. She was being evicted from the apartment that she was living in because she didn't have the monies for the rent.
When was that?
The beginning of August of 2000.
Okay.
She pretty much begged for our help. She didn't know what to do. Her own mother wouldn't sign a lease for her to make sure that the monies for the rent were paid each month, because if Lisa failed to do that, the mother didn't want to be responsible.
How old were your 3 grandchildren at that time?
At the time...
4, 7, and 11.
And where was your son? In what state?
He was living in New York.
Okay, go ahead.
So she begged for our help. She didn't know what to do. She said she was going to have to go to a shelter or live in the car. She didn't have any money. Could we please help her? We discussed with her what we would be able to do.
Well, what did you say to her and what did she say to you?
We told her that we would advance her the monies to move down here. I would have an apartment rented for her, have to pay first, last, and security. I would have utilities established if I needed to pay a deposit, but that I did expect the monies back from her. We were not in a position to give her a gift. Okay, this was a loan only. I would even have a job secured for her in Florida, which I did. And as long as the utilities and the rent and the apartment was in my name, that I would make sure I would pretty much manage the monies coming in through her salary as well as her child support.
Is this what you discussed with her?
Yes, ma'am, to make sure that everything was paid for.
And what about your son? How come she was penniless in Maryland?
Well, she wasn't penniless, Your Honor. He was paying child support.
How much?
$328 every other week.
So he was paying $150 a week for the support of 3 children.
That's what they deemed necessary for him to pay.
What kind of work does he do?
He's a police officer. Your Honor, if I may, he had offered to pay more, but based upon his salary at the time that he got divorced, he was only told that he needed to pay $154.
I'm just trying to figure out how come she had absolutely no money. Now I understand why she had no money. Is your family in Maryland?
No, it is not.
Where's your family?
My family was in New York.
When you were living with your husband, were you living in New York or in Maryland?
In New York with my ex-husband.
So what did you move to Maryland for?
Maryland, I moved because I have friends there. Just wanted to start over with the kids in a better area.
Had you discussed that with your husband before you moved to Maryland?
With my ex-husband, I had never any contact once he left with the other woman. He never came back.
So he left you in New York?
He left me with the 3 kids, no money, an eviction notice, all the power.
So that's why you moved to Maryland?
Right.
Okay. Go ahead. So then she comes down to Florida.
So we advanced her the monies to come down to Florida.
How much in total did you advance her?
I advanced her a total of almost $9,000, which $2,400 was paid back, and that's where it stopped.
When did she stop making payments to you?
She stopped making payments through her ex-husband's child support in November
What do you
of
mean
2000.
through her ex-husband's child support? What does that mean?
What she was doing is turning over one of the child support checks to me as repayment for what I was advancing her.
Now, when they came down to Florida, your daughter-in-law and the 3 children, did you see them regularly?
Oh, yes, we saw them regularly.
That was a good
They were
thing.
a good part of their life.
And they still see them regularly.
No.
Yes, they
No,
do.
ma'am, we don't.
Yes,
No, ma'am, we don't.
September 8th, they took them to the movies and out to eat. Right after that, the week after, September 15th, my father-in-law took my 3 children to the library and got them library cards. Okay, they do see them. They
may
do.
not see them the way they like to see them, but it's good at least that they
Yes,
see them.
they
That's
do
a
see
good,
them.
That's a good thing.
After that was when I was served, and they have not seen the children, and that was their choice. Never mind. My children have nothing to do with what's going on between us.
Well, that's
the
very-
grandparents.
That's very good.
And they have not called to see them.
You should.
No, we did, Your Honor. That's not
She's not
entirely
living in
true.
the house.
The last time I called her up, I said, I want to establish grandfather night again. I want to be able to take those kids out every Monday like I used to do before. And her word was, I'll think about it.
Your Honor, I'm being charged for every Monday that they took them
No,
out.
we're not,
No.
Your Honor. We
Yes,
are-
they are.
Just a second.
Yes,
What do you
I
mean-
am.
what do you mean
If
being
you
charged?
look at the suit that they're charging me, they're charging me for times where they took them out to eat, paper goods, a birthday cake, a birthday present they bought them.
Something must have happened.
They are
What-
jealous of my mom. I can tell you
What
the whole
happened?
story.
All right, because something must have happened to you, because here you have good people,
Yes, very good, and I love them to death for everything
good
they
people
did.
who try to do the right thing. You call up and you say, this is not going well. I'm prepared to come to Florida, but I don't have any money. These don't look like really rich people, right?
Correct.
So it's not as if the money was free-flowing. You did it because you wanted your only 3 grandchildren to have some sort of stability and security. So far they're okay. And for a long time, they were an integral part of the kids' lives. What I want to know is what happened
I can
to
tell you.
change that?
What happened was I came down here first with the children.
To Florida.
To Florida. And everything, like she said, was fine. There was never a verbal agreement of you have to pay me back. It was, we are going to help you because we know that you're having a tough time with no child support from my ex-husband. When I came down, they had everything prepared, which turned out to be a lie.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Claire and Brian O'Connell are suing their former daughter-in-law, Lysandra Cruz, for a loan to move. The O'Connells say Lysandra is keeping them from seeing their grandchildren.
Go ahead.
The apartment that supposedly I have proof here that I paid the security and I paid the first month October rent and every rent after that. Once I got here, I took over all the bills, paying them, which I have every receipt and every proof that I have paid every single bill that was under her name.
Were you working?
Yes.
Was it a job that your mother-in-law had found for you?
Yes.
What kind of job?
It is a computer analyst for a bank.
Great.
Yeah.
And who takes care of the children? Who was
They
taking
go
care
to
of
the
children?
YMCA after school program.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Okay. So everything was going okay. What started happening was she started meeting me every payday after work and made sure that I went to the bank with her and everything was paid like a little child. It was like a controlling thing started happening.
What was paid?
The phone bill, the light bill, the rent, everything, which I kept saying to her, I can do on my own. I am not a child. I know how to do this. She had the key to the house. She would come into the apartment while I was sleeping. She would come in while I was at work because neighbors would tell me, what was your mother-in-law doing in your apartment while you're working? Started getting very scary. I started calling my mother and telling her, Ma, this is really bad. They have total control of me. I cannot take this. I need help. The whole thing started was she wanted the family together in Florida because they wanted to grow up with the grandchildren.
I think that's
and
great.
everybody be together. That's what happened. Once my mother came down to Florida, she was going to stay with me until she found an apartment and a job. Well, this is where everything happened, where she got very jealous. My mother-in-law, Claire, wanted me to charge my mother $300 a week for my mom to stay with me, which I refused. I said, this is my mother. I cannot charge my mother for staying with me. There is absolutely no way I could do it. She came to the house, confronted me in front of my mom, and said, speak up now, wanted me to tell my mother that she had to pay me to stay, plus the money was going to go to her, not me, even though I was paying the rent.
You mean to pay off this
Supposedly what I owed her. It started all out of jealousy, ma'am. All out of jealousy, Your Honor. And it shouldn't have been this way because I love them equally.
Oh, all terrible. All very sad. Are you working?
Yes, I am.
You live with your daughter and your 3 grandchildren, or do you have your own place?
I have my own place,
Now.
and now she's living with me. And the
Stand
2
up.
children. Sorry.
So you left the apartment that your mother-in-law
I was
originally
thrown
found,
out.
and you moved into a new place with your mom.
I was thrown
When
out.
did you do that?
We left the
In
apartment
August.
in August.
Sounds to me like you are a very responsible, caring gal,
Very.
and hopefully not let this interfere with your children having wonderful relationships with both of their sets of grandparents. So that's wonderful. And Mr. and Mrs. O'Connell, I think that you're lovely people.
Yes, but it's not entirely true what she says,
It's
Your
not
Honor.
true what she says, Your Honor.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Miss Cruz, by her own statements, doesn't deny that she owes you some more money, that this was not a gift. Because if she was paying you back, then it's clear to me that it was the understanding between the two of you that the money that you advanced her would be returned when she could.
Right.
It's one of those unusual cases where you all sound like absolutely lovely people, and I'm not going to look at all of your bills and everything else, and I'm going to tell you why, Mr. and Mrs. O'Connell, because I don't want you to say or do anything that will permanently alter the relationship that you have with your daughter-in-law. And you really have to make an arrangement so that they can see the kids
They
sort of
do.
regularly,
No.
and shouldn't
No.
allow this thing
You know,
here.
they do. What I am mostly afraid of, the last time they took my children, my daughter Jessica came back hysterical crying because as kids they do ask, Grandma, Grandpa, can you buy me this, can you buy me that? She asked them to buy her a sweater. Claire said, I will not buy your sweater because your mother gets child support. Now, how can you tell a child that? My daughter came back hysterical crying. I am totally afraid for them to go with them.
They're not going to say that anymore. If they said it, maybe they need a reality check.
Your Honor, I said, excuse me, Jesse, I love you very much, but Grandma is all spent out, okay? All these times when Daddy wasn't sending the checks, Grandpa and I were paying for everything. I said, we don't have
How
any
old
more
is this
money.
child? How
She's
old
8
is-
years old, and I said, Jesse, I said, now your mommy is getting all of your daddy's child support,
Which
the
I am
current
not.
plus the back child support. I wish I could,
Miss
Jesse.
O'Connell, that is not a discussion that you have with an 8-year-old. Children should never, ever be involved with the finances in a family. Children, all they hear is, there's friction in my family, it's all over money, my daddy.
Children should never be heard then. Children.
Right. You're absolutely right. So even though you started out with, I love you very much, you did something very hurtful. Don't show me anything yet.
May I say one thing, Your Honor?
I'm not finished.
I'm sorry.
So sometimes adults don't always do the right thing either.
This is what I'm saying. I'm very afraid.
They're not going to do it anymore. Promise?
Promise.
Promise?
Definitely promise, Your Honor.
Promise.
I love them to death. I love my
Promise.
grandchildren so much.
Maybe they didn't realize that it was hurtful to her, but they really have to have sort of a regular.
Yes.
You have any
I
problem
agree.
with that?
I know. I totally agree. I never did have a problem. They've always had the right to see, like I said, the kids. I never put the kids in the middle.
Good.
My understanding is that the children are not living with Lisa's mother any
They're
longer.
living with my mother.
Well, do you live with your mother?
Yes.
What makes you think not?
My son, when he came down for a visit, he went over there and says that Lisa is getting another apartment somewhere. She's been saving the child support money to get an apartment.
Listen to me. There ain't that much to save.
Thank you.
She's not becoming rich
No one
on
said
the
she's
amount of
becoming
child
rich.
support that your son is sending to her. Believe me. Listen to me, folks. These children are the innocents. And whatever other agendas everybody has, you have to make sure that the innocents aren't made to feel any worse. Here, they had a wonderful relationship with you. All of a sudden, that's taken away from them because of a dispute amongst adults having nothing to do with them. So these children, if you want them to grow up emotionally secure, you better stop the bickering. Now, Miss Cruz, you owe the O'Connells some money, okay? Because I find that this was not a gift, but it was a loan that they made to you as you could repay them. Now I'm going to hear your counterclaim. Let me hear it.
Your Honor, first of all, I gave in my car when I first moved to Florida in order to get another car. Because of my divorce with my ex-husband and loans that he had, my credit history is no good. They, in turn, say, we will put the car under our name and you make all the payments. Well, Your Honor, that's exactly what I did. Now, when they turned around and got angry with my mom for the jealousy bit with the grandma thing, they went and they stole the car. We went outside and the car was gone.
Okay, you took it back. When did you take it back?
Okay, we took it back August 1st of this year, and the reason that we took it back, Your Honor, is because she had said to my husband, I don't want anything to do with you, I'm not paying you any more monies, leave me alone, don't have anything to do with me.
So you acknowledge that she had made all the payments on this car?
All the payments except for one, Your
No,
Honor.
every
She
single
made all the payments except for one.
For virtually all the payments on this car. Is that right?
Correct.
So the reason you took it back is because she said to you, I'm not giving you any more money.
Exactly.
What did you do with the car?
We have it. We're using it.
Did that leave her without a car?
Yes, it did leave her without a car.
Why would you do that?
Because she said to me she's not giving us any more money, she's not making any more payments to us.
So you took back the car?
Yes.
As payment for this loan?
No, Your Honor.
Separate.
No, Your Honor, it's separate.
No, Your Honor, they
No, it's not separate.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. She had abused privileges that I gave her. She was ruining my credit with
Never.
FPL. She
Your
ruined,
Honor, I have
she
No,
ruined my
I'm
credit.
talking about car.
Okay.
Car.
Nope.
Car. How much did you invest in the car in total?
$3,000, Your Honor, and
No,
every
Your Honor,
single
that's
thing
not
is
true.
here.
That's
Yes,
not
it is.
true, Your Honor.
Every money order's here. You can
Your
count
Honor,
it
that's not true,
yourself.
Your Honor.
You can count it yourself, Your Honor.
That's not true.
Well, how much?
Your
Let me
Honor?
ask you this question: how much money do you say that she has paid into the car?
Okay, $231 for 9 payments. So she used the car in June and hasn't paid me money
You
for
kept
that.
that money.
No. Don't fight, please. I didn't want there to be any fighting. You also include your insurance in
Yes,
that bill.
that's
I'm just
not
talking about the car payments.
And that's not counting my car that I gave in, the 1994 Taurus.
And how much did you get for that?
$400 they put towards the bill of the car.
Okay. So all this started a whole bunch of problems. All started because you say your mother-in-law, they got jealous. She wanted you to charge your mother rent in order to pay her back faster. You said no. They got annoyed. To make a long story short, you've paid in $2,079 on the car. In addition, $400 you got as a trade-in for your old car. You had the use of this car, but you took this car back sort of in partial payment of whatever debt she owed you. So I'm deducting that from the cost of the $5,000. And I want to tell you something else. I think that you're not being terribly smart, the O'Connells. If Miss Cruz is saying what she means, which is she cares for you both, and that she's really very sorry for all of these bad things that happened between the two of you, and these are your only 3 grandchildren, I would, as my grandson would say, suck it up. Because I think you're making a big mistake for taking this any further. In any event, I find that she does not owe you the $5,000 that you're requesting. I am doing a set-off with the counterclaim. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,571. That is it.
We're also suing for our computer, Your Honor, which she has that we want back.
They gave
Just
that
a
to
second.
their grandson.
Goodbye.
Step out. Yeah, just kidding.
And now the next case.
All parties on Williams versus Hume. Step forward, please.
19-year-old student Jennifer Williams is suing her ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old student Michael Hume, for attorney's fees, money loaned, and for kicking down her door.
Miss Williams, the defendant is a former boyfriend of yours. I gather you were arrested on some sort of a warrant from when you were a juvenile. Is that right?
Probation violation.
And at that time, according to you, Miss Williams, he's in jail, and you loaned him some money to buy some socks and other toothpaste, I guess, combs,
Yes, ma'am.
shaving stuff. That wasn't a lot of money. How much was it?
$200.
Did he ask you for that money?
He asked for the money to be put in his account. I said I would do it as long as he paid me back.
Did you say that to him?
Yes, I did.
You remember that?
Not at all. I don't.
Do me a favor, don't laugh.
Sorry.
Did she put any money into your account?
Yes, she did.
How much?
She did 200.
How did she know you needed money in your account?
Well, I made phone calls.
And what did you say?
I said that we have commissary and I would like some money, and she sent me money. Some of that money, I was under the understanding that some of that money came out of one of my paychecks when I was working security before I was incarcerated.
Did you have any paychecks of his that he got after?
No, ma'am. None of the money that was put into his commissary account came out of his paycheck. That all came out of my paychecks.
Where was his paycheck?
At Sandy's house, who was his employer at the time. It was at her house.
So you never got his
No,
paycheck?
ma'am.
Okay. Now let's talk about the lawyer, because that's a much bigger bill. You say that you paid for his lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much was that?
Well, I had thought it was $1,100. I have the receipts. It says it was $1,200.
But you sued for 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. Tell me, how come you paid for his lawyer?
I went to go see him in jail. It was originally understood he was going to get a court-appointed lawyer. Then he had called me and said he didn't want a court-appointed lawyer, that he had wanted a real lawyer. And then the next day when I had gone to see him in jail, I told him I would pay for the lawyer as long as he paid me back when he got out of jail.
A lot of that is false.
Just tell me the story, sir.
Okay.
And try standing up straight and looking at me.
Sorry.
Good.
Basically.
Looking at me. I'm not there. I'm here.
Okay, sorry. I told both her and her mother that I was fine with a court-appointed lawyer. I didn't agree to pay them back at all. I also, it was never in writing or anything. I'd never said that. It was just never said. I was just under the understanding that she was paying for my lawyer to be nice because she loved me, blah, 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 you know.
There's a lot there to love.
Thanks.
Well, if you didn't want her to pay for your lawyer, and if you were just as happy with the public defender, why didn't you just say to the lawyer when the lawyer came to see you in jail, I have a lawyer, thank you very much, I don't need a lawyer?
Well, I didn't have a court-appointed lawyer yet.
So you had no lawyer and you're sitting in jail?
Not yet. I hadn't.
Just pay attention.
Okay.
You had no lawyer, and you're sitting in jail. How old are you?
19.
Had you been in jail before?
Yes.
For how long?
Around 2 months.
Did you know her then?
No, no, I did not.
When you met him, had you known that he had spent some time in jail?
The first time I met him was when we were both working at Friendly's. I didn't find out he was in jail then until the third week we knew each other. We weren't dating yet.
But then you found out that he had been incarcerated. Did you know what for?
Over the months we had dated, he had explained things. All I knew is that he had a probation violation, possession of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, eluding the police. The list goes on and on.
You're still on probation?
No.
So you're not drug screened anymore, is that
No.
right?
Correct.
How did I know that?
You're really intelligent.
You're really right. What else?
Well, as far as him for telling you that He had never said he would pay me back. My witness was there at the time. She is my mother. She was in the room with us when he said it.
Let me hear you. Miss Williams?
Yes.
Let me hear what you heard. Where were you first?
We were in the lawyer's office. His father had mentioned, I'm not going to pay for your lawyer. And Michael had said, I will pay you back.
So you were all sitting together?
Yes. And the first time we had talked about the lawyer, I had gone with my daughter to see him in jail. And he said, don't worry, Ma, I'll pay you back when I get out of jail and I get a
is
job.
That what he called you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What else?
He put a hole in my door, my bedroom door, when we were fighting one night.
Forget it. Let me tell you something. Was this after he got out of jail?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
After he got out of jail, I wouldn't have let him back in my bedroom at all.
And I was very stupid to do so.
Fine. Then you pay for the door out of your own stupidity.
All right.
Where are you working now? What is that around your neck?
This? Necklaces.
One or more?
2.
What are they made out of?
Just aluminum and metal.
Where are you working now?
Right now, I'm actually not working. I'm applying, though, at various jobs.
Who are you living with?
I'm living with my friend.
This friend?
No, not this friend.
What kind of friend?
He restores cars.
What else does he do? Does he sell? Is he a business person?
No, not at all.
Does he sell anything
No.
other than restoring cars?
No,
No.
People want him to sell his car, but he won't do it.
I wasn't talking about cars necessarily. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may...
And now the next case.
All parties on Ponterero versus Peach. Step forward, please.
22-year-old student Corinne Ponterero is suing her ex-roommate, 22-year-old student Rebecca Peach, for breaking a lease. Rebecca says she moved out because she needed gallbladder surgery.
Ms. Ponterero, according to your complaint, you and the defendant know each other from college, and you had decided to room together for this coming year.
Yes.
When did you sign the lease?
Last year.
What month?
I believe it was in April.
And at some time, about a month later, the defendant decided that she did not want to live with you, and you've had to move into this rental by yourself. You want her to pay her share of the year's rent.
Yes, it's a 3-bedroom apartment. There's me and one other housemate. And with her not living there, we're responsible for her rent. Our landlord is now taking us to court for her part of the rent. In the lease, it says that no matter what, you're jointly and severely responsible for fulfillment of the
Severally,
lease.
not severely, severally. Let me have the lease, please.
I have this from both years.
Okay. When did you change your mind?
I actually have an email I have written to Corinne. It's dated June 12th. That states that I won't
It's
be
dated
coming
what?
back. June 12th.
Okay, you changed your mind June 12th.
It wasn't so much changing my mind. I was very ill. Corinne and I were disagreeing. Was not a very good living environment for myself. And I have doctors, notes, everything. It was impossible for me to come back to school.
So then, what did you do to try to get a new roommate?
With me being sick, it was hard.
What
That's
were you
why
sick with?
I had my gallbladder taken out 2 years ago. I vomit a lot. I throw up a lot. That's why I had written her the email to let her know that I won't be back, that I'm going to need help with this.
Let me see the email.
I have it highlighted of where I said I wasn't going to be back.
You were all supposed to move in on the end of August. Is that right?
Yeah.
And according to this lease, the landlord wanted payments for the rent in 2 parts, $4,000 in the beginning of one semester, and then in the spring semester, another $4,000. The spring semester doesn't start until when? February, March?
January.
January. And what you're suing her for is really 1/3 of the entire lease. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know about this vacuum cleaner and television set.
Your Honor, I also have an email dated June 12th also. She never said anything about being sick. She never gave me that reason. We were fighting. I didn't feel the reason. I need to explain myself.
Well, it's a rather nasty email, and it seems to me a lot of other things going on other than just your former gallbladder condition, Ms. Peach. You had an obligation to try to locate a 3rd roommate to take over your obligation under the lease.
I understand that.
You have an obligation to what they call ameliorate your damages, which means you too have to make an effort to locate a third roommate?
We posted these all around campus, and usually when everybody looks for an apartment, you sign a lease well ahead of time. Right now, everybody in school already has signed leases for their living arrangements next year. So finding a roommate now is next to impossible because everybody already has their apartments.
Well, at this point, yes, but probably not in June, and certainly not for the spring semester.
Well, we've been looking. We found
because
somebody.
situations change, so there is no way that I'm going to grant you an award for the entire amount of the rent that's due and owing, because the spring semester is a whole different scenario. Having had kids in school, I know that after a few months in college, situations change. And kids say, I don't like living with you, and I don't like living with you. I'm going to look for a new roommate. You make new friends, so you can find yourself in a position of filling up that third bedroom, which I'm sure you use now occasionally anyway. You have visitors come up and they use that room?
Actually, it's pretty empty.
That's not what I asked you. I said, do you sometimes have visitors, friends come up and use that room? Parents, anybody else?
Not that room, no.
They don't use that room. It just stands as a shrine to the defendant. What's next?
If I may interject for a second.
Sure.
The TV we had bought together, I had left her half the money for it when I moved out in the summertime. And the vacuum cleaner, I don't remember us having one second semester because our first semester housemate took it with her. We didn't have a vacuum the second semester.
Well, that's what some of the other things she's suing for, a vacuum cleaner and a television set.
I had gotten a phone call from the Fredonia Police Department about me stealing a television and a vacuum cleaner. Now, when I went up to school, I made sure nobody was there. I took all of my stuff out, left her half the money for the TV we bought together, which was $60.
And did you take the TV?
And I took the TV with me. And I did not take the vacuum. I'm living at home. I don't need the vacuum cleaner.
At the time, I didn't know she had left the money because my other housemate had set it aside for me, but she wasn't home. So I went to the police department and I filled out this report, and I find it hard to believe that the TV and all her stuff would be gone, along with the vacuum cleaner.
Well,
but
she says she took the TV, but she left you money, which you acknowledge because your roommate had the money.
Yeah, she
and
took
just
the money.
didn't tell you, so you included the TV in the police report that you filed against her, and the TV should not have been included in that police report.
Well, she says that we bought the TV together, and we did not. I bought it on my credit card, and I have the receipt here if you want.
We split that.
Well, it's very possible you put it on your... I'm not going to get involved with $60 for a television
That's fine
set.
too, but I did not take a vacuum cleaner.
There's no proof that you took the vacuum cleaner. What's next?
Well, I have all the copies of the bills from last semester. That some of them we still owe, some of them are in her name, some of them are in mine.
I just got a $617 phone bill in my name, which I don't know why it's still in my name, but I just received this phone bill from the phone company.
Let me see. Why don't you, Bert, instead of my looking at them, why don't you have them exchange these bills and look at them?
Your Honor, I acknowledge these bills.
Good.
What I want to say is that I never received them to pay them.
Okay, so there are $624.17 in bills that she says that you owe from last semester, and you got a phone bill for $600.
And $17, yes.
Right?
Actually, all these numbers are her numbers. They're all in Long Island. They're all West Palm Beach.
There's Buffalo in there, Williamsville from her town. So
well, I will be glad to go through them and find out which ones are mine, but the vast majority of them are from hers.
Oh, let me see. You expect me to go through all these charges?
No.
Good. Then step outside. Call you back in 5 minutes. Here, Bird, send them outside, please. Thank you. Okay, so who was Talkie Sally?
Well, I went over the long-distance bills, highlighted what I owe, everything from the Buffalo and Buffalo area, and I owe $9.30.
Is that right?
I guess so. I didn't really look at it.
What do you mean?
She had it.
Really
She had the
look?
calculator.
All right, so let me see the entire phone bill, please. All right, Miss Peach.
Yes.
So from your phone bill of $617, the plaintiff owes you $9.30.
That's fine.
So it's a good lesson. Miss Peach, your lesson is as follows. How old are you?
22.
If you're 22, you're an adult. When you're an adult and you enter into a contract, you are obligated to fulfill your contract. You're no longer a kid. But you have an obligation, too, to reduce your damages. You can't sit there with a 3-bedroom apartment and say, well, now I have a bedroom for myself, a bedroom for my roommate, and I got a whole area for storage. Don't play with paper when I'm talking to you. It's rude. So, I believe that you are entitled to this semester's portion of her rent for the fall semester, because I agree with you that it could have been difficult in June to try to find a new roommate. That doesn't mean that I believe that you can't find somebody else for the spring semester. Now, that doesn't mean that you necessarily don't have a cause of action against her if, in the spring semester, after a good faith effort to locate another roommate, you're not able to locate another roommate. This award will cover this semester's rent. Clear? Plus your utility bills from last year. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,948. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Haddon versus McCallum, step forward, please.
25-year-old retail manager Cynthia Haddon is suing ex-roommate, 23-year-old ticket broker Andrew McCallum for breaking their lease. Andrew says he broke the lease because Cynthia is unstable.
Miss Haddon, the defendant was your roommate, according to your complaint. You claim that he moved out in the middle of the month of September 2001, owing you some rent and bills, and he also took some property of yours. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant said he's all paid up. When did he move in with you?
We moved in.
You moved in together?
Together.
And you were just friends?
Yes.
You signed a lease?
Yes, we have a lease that we shared.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, begins on September 15th.
It's beginning the 15th of each month?
Absolutely.
And you moved out on September 16th, is that right, sir?
No, ma'am.
When
Moved
did you
out on September 15th.
Okay. So you signed this lease, sir, is that right?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
And the lease requires that you give 30 days written notice to the landlord.
Okay.
May I see that, please?
I actually, I had spoke with our manager of the apartment complex, and basically I explained my situation.
Don't tell me what you explained to the manager of your apartment complex, sir, because it says that no oral notice is acceptable.
Okay.
Okay. Did you move out subsequently?
No, Your Honor. I've maintained the apartment. I've stayed there.
Okay. Do you have a new roommate?
Yes. As of October 15th, I have a new roommate.
Okay. And how much was your share of the rent?
My share of the rent was $400, Your Honor.
Actually, Your Honor, we had an agreement beginning in the end of August. Andrew and I had a conversation where I asked him, since his girlfriend was moving in, if he could actually split the cost of the rent halfway down the middle, and he said not a problem. So that would be $425 apiece.
Well, did he pay half the rent in August?
No, beginning September's rent.
Oh, forget it. Then he moved out.
Yeah, then he moved out.
Then he moved
exactly.
out. So he owes you $400 for September's rent. So you have to give a $400. Now, what about utility bills, etc.?
I have the Edison bill, which was not the month for Andrew, but the past due balance of $87.79, which reflects the month before that, was the month that he was there.
Did you pay that bill?
Right here, Your Honor.
What's the date on it?
The date on it is 9/15. I actually wrote this check. I post-dated it. I wrote it on the 13th.
Was it cashed?
Was it cashed? Yeah. Sitting right here. I got it from my statement.
May I see it?
It was written to Southern California Edison.
Yes, Your Honor, that was also for the month of August's bill. We were in mid-cycle when he moved.
Well, I don't know that, madam. You don't have the bill. He has a check for $191.70 dated 9/15/01.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have that bill that he paid, actually, and it shows the dates on there.
8/2 to 8/31.
Yes, Your Honor. He moved out on September 15th.
Oh, stop it. Stop annoying me with petty stuff. He doesn't owe you $87 for 15 days.
I called the Edison.
He doesn't owe you $87 for 15 days. What else?
I also have a copy of the cable bill in the amount of $71.77.
For what period of time?
It was actually for the period of 9/22 to 10/21.
He wasn't even there to watch cable. Next.
I loaned him my television antenna in his room for his television, and he took that with him.
Did you take an antenna?
No, ma'am.
What else?
He also took several items from me, ranging from CDs to Nintendo games.
CDs? How many CDs did he take?
I don't know.
I can't believe I went to law school for this. What CDs did he take from you?
I have a Creed CD, a Sugar Ray CD, Alanis Morissette CD, and an Eminem CD.
Nope.
Do you have those CDs?
I have Creed. I have purchased on my own. I probably can find the receipt if I wanted. I don't own any of the other ones. So, Your Honor, the answer is no.
What else?
Also a 007 Nintendo 64 video game.
You have something to say. You have the Nintendo game?
That's my game. I have the credit card receipt at home for that game.
She says it's hers, you say it's yours. How am I supposed to figure that out?
There were two. He had one of his own and I had
we left one there and I took mine.
Also, Your Honor, on September 16th, I went and saw him there removing his stuff from the property. He had with him my belongings, which was a television cart stand. I saw it immediately and knew it was mine, and I took it back, as well as a CD tower rack. I noticed that, and he gave it back. And I also had realized that my Nintendo 64 controller was gone, and I asked him for it, and he gave that back.
Why did you pack up those items that weren't yours?
Okay. The CD tower rack she had given to me in the month of March because I needed another rack for my CDs.
And what about the other stuff?
The Nintendo controllers, it was pretty much a foul-up. I have a total of 5 controllers that I bought myself. I do have receipts for because my other controllers had been faulty.
So it was
I
a
bought new
mistake?
ones. It was just an honest mistake.
Okay. What
so
about
I handed it right
TV
back with a smile on
stand?
my face.
TV
stand? I didn't even have a clue about that.
Well, you took it.
Huh?
You took it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a mistake.
It was a mistake, Your Honor.
He owes you $400 for his share of the rent. He didn't give proper notice. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Williams versus Stewart. Step forward, please.
46-year-old homemaker Pamela Williams is suing her former friend, 28-year-old hairstylist Shay Stewart, for an unpaid car loan and utility bills. Shay says she worked off the debt by braiding hair.
Well, I'm going to cut right to the chase here because the facts are a little bit complicated on the plaintiff's side, so I'm going to just cut right through them. You and the defendant were friends for many years, and she was going through some hard times, and you helped her out. In 1996, you co-signed for a car for her.
Correct.
She couldn't get a car on her own. So far, that's correct.
Right.
And during the next few years, she had serious problems paying for that car. And during the course of several transactions, the car was repossessed. You had to go and sign a paper, again, co-signing in order to make sure your credit was clean and the car was paid for. She got the car back. Got the car. You did not get the car back. But there was a substantial amount left owing on the car, even when they sold it off for whatever. They sold it, and there was a big chunk of money left off. She agreed to pay that so that, again, your credit would not be destroyed. So far, is that correct? You agreed to pay that?
I agreed to pay that with the judge, yes, but she was supposed to have been released from all
But she wasn't. She had to co-sign for you. And as it turned out, you again did not pay that judgment, so that they contacted the plaintiff. Plaintiff ultimately worked out a resolution with them for less money than they wanted, and you paid on her car loan how much?
$2,200.
So you paid $2,200 on the balance of what she owed on the car. And during this same time period, she ran into some additional difficulty. She didn't have money for utilities, and you gave her some additional money.
Yes.
How much?
It was $80 for electric and $126.95 for the gas.
And you acknowledge she gave you that money?
Yes, but it wasn't a loan. She gave it to me.
No, she's tripping. She's tripping.
Just a second. Don't speak. 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's $24.06 and change.
Exactly.
Okay,
However,
can
I did include the certified mail to the attorneys when I sent the check, so I put the $3.
Okay. Your defense to this entire action, Ms. Stewart, is that there was an agreement that you would pay off this debt to the plaintiff by braiding her children's hair.
Right. That I've been doing throughout the years.
Okay. So I want you to tell me about that agreement.
The agreement, she told me that she had to pay the payment back, and that that's what she wound up being stuck with having to do, and that I owed her, and that we would make the arrangements by me braiding the girl's hair and hers. When I met her, she didn't even have any hair, and the kids' hair was in bad condition. But throughout the years, in the course of time,
How many years did you braid their hair? Starting when?
94, 95.
So is what you're telling me that she agreed to co-sign for this car loan and she paid off this loan for you because from the time that you were braiding her children's hair, even before you bought the car, in 95, you were braiding her hair and weren't charging her?
No, I was charging her up until that point.
Up until what point?
Up until after I fell delinquent in my car payment.
Until what year?
97, 98, somewhere up in there.
Did you ever have an agreement, Miss Williams, with Miss Stewart, that she could work off this debt she owed you by braiding your children's hair?
No, actually, the debt that she was supposed to work off by braiding the children's hair was for an exercise machine that I loaned her, which got misplaced somehow.
That I've been
and
paid
it was $300. Exactly, but the machine that that was the only thing that we ever bartered hair for. That's because this costs nothing. This was, as far as I was concerned, an inanimate object. Okay, you lose it, you can do the hair for it, that's fine. But when you put out cash money that could go into my children's mouths, that's a lot different.
The aggravation that you caused her should have caused you to braid her children's hair for nothing. Just the aggravation. Twice, she was subject to legal process. She had to take 20, what kind of work do you do for
Which
a
I
living?
voluntarily went to court with her on to help
Just a
release
second,
her
this is
from
your
it.
day. What do you mean you voluntarily went with her? You're
I didn't
supposed
have
to voluntarily
I
go with
just
her.
had it stuck on my credit and that was it.
No, it's also stuck on her credit.
And that's why I went.
You don't get it. What kind of work do you do for a living?
I'm just a homemaker.
Goodness gracious me. Miss Stewart, when somebody extends a helping hand to you, you're supposed to do the right thing. You're not supposed to do the wrong thing.
And that's what I did, Your Honor.
You
by
didn't
going to
do
court with her.
By going to court with her, this was not her debt, it was your debt.
Yeah, but they was talking about taking her house back. Taking her house from her then.
You should have braided her children's hair until they were receiving Social Security for all the trouble you caused her.
I don't
They were
owe
threatening to take her house away because she co-signed a car for you that you didn't pay for, and you think it was nice of you to go to court with her? Yes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,409, which includes the certified mail. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out. This is case number 4.
And now the next case.
All parties on Evans versus Tracy. Step forward, please.
26-year-old handyman Tony Evans is suing his former friend, 31-year-old landscaper Audra Tracy, for the value of a stolen money order.
Mr. Evans, according to your complaint, the defendant was a friend of yours, and there had been times, because she didn't have a checking account, that you cashed checks for her.
Yes, ma'am.
On this particular instance, she came to you and told you she had a money order and asked you to cash it for her. You did.
Yes.
And several days later, you were notified by your bank that the money had been withdrawn from your account because the money order had either been stolen, reported stolen, or a stop order had been put on the money order. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you want the money back?
Yes, I do.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding her request.
She called me up on my cell phone and said that the father of her children had come into town out of the blue. He hadn't been paying child support ever, and he gave her a money order for $1,000 and wanted to know if I had cash. I've cashed plenty of checks for her, and I didn't think nothing of it. And when I showed up, she said, well, it's for $1,000, but it's a money order. It's guaranteed funds. You got nothing to worry about. Because up till then, I didn't cash nothing for that amount of money. So I thought about it and said, hey, you know, it's a money order, guaranteed funds. It's not like it's a checking account. So I cashed the money order for her.
How did you do that?
We went to the bank. She signed the money order that was written to her. She endorsed it. I signed it and cashed it and handed her the money. And in the bank was the last time I ever saw my $1,000.
Did she ever tell you about this father of her children before you cashed the money order?
I don't know anything about him.
Just that you knew she had children?
She had children, so obviously they probably have a father, yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Tracy, let me hear from you.
Pretty much everything that he said, it happened. To me, the money order was a legit check. That's the only reason why I asked Tony to do it, because like he said, he has cashed checks for me prior, because I don't have a bank account. When we cashed this check, I went back and gave the money to Dolan. After that, Tony got a hold of us a couple of days after that saying the bank, you know, he was out of $1,000, we need to get down to it. So we addressed Dolan, both me and him both did at that time, and Dolan got on the phone and was trying to call somebody in Missouri, a friend of his that supposedly put the stop payment on it. To me, I was an innocent bystander, and I understand Tony wants to get his money back, and I try to get him and Dolan to deal with it themselves and keep me out of it, because it basically, he wrote the check out to me, and I don't feel like I'm totally blamed for the $1,000.
Even though she got $1,000.
Even though I got the $1,000, which I gave to Dolan, and in return he gave me $300 for child support.
And I haven't received child support from him in like 12 years.
So you feel as if Dolan is responsible?
Yes,
for
I
the money.
definitely do.
That's your defense?
Yeah.
That you're an innocent bystander?
Yes.
All right. I have some questions for you, Ms. Tracy. Were you ever married to Dolan?
No, I was not.
But you were in, I assume, a long-term relationship with him?
For on and off for 5 years.
And after he cashed this money order, did Dolan stay with you for a while?
Yes, he did stay with me for
How
about
long?
a week. And
Just
then-
a week?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me what you know about Dolan. Does Dolan work?
He's always worked. When I was with him,
Has he ever been incarcerated?
Yes, he has.
How many times?
He's incarcerated right now, and I do believe this is his second time being incarcerated.
What do you mean you do believe? While you were together for that 5 years, had he been in jail before?
No, he was not together in those 5 years, and that's like 12 years ago, so.
Okay, so, but you believe that he's been incarcerated on at least 2 occasions?
Yes, yes.
Do you know what for?
Drug charges.
Using, selling, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. So.
Little?
Manufacturing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a little bit of, he's a
Everything.
bit of an
He's a pretty
entrepreneur,
bad
he's a businessman, he's a salesman, and he also uses his own product.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
Was he ever abusive towards you?
Yes, he was.
Was he ever physically abusive
Yes, he
towards
was.
you? Prior to him cashing this check for you, not a long time ago, just recently, did you know about Dolan's drug involvement?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear or see from him for about 8 years, so showing up on my doorstep, it bewildered me because I haven't seen him in so long.
Oh,
So.
But you did know one thing. You knew that he had been working.
Yes.
And that he hadn't paid child support. Is that right?
Yes.
So you knew he was a deadbeat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And had he seen his children in those years?
Nope.
So you knew he was irresponsible?
Very much.
So, Ms. Tracy, let me ask you this question. If you went to Mr. Evans, who was a friend of yours, and said, look, I have this money order. It was given to me by the father of my children, who is a lowlife, irresponsible, deadbeat, abuser, and we'd like you to cash it for us. Do you think he would have cashed it for you? Probably not. So you had information about the person who you were asking him to vouch for by giving him money that he didn't have. Mr. Evans, if she had said to you, here is a money order by this lowlife, drug abusing, drug selling, drug manufacturing, irresponsible, deadbeat person who I once knew 8 years ago, but I haven't seen since, would you have cashed her money order?
No, I wouldn't.
Of course not. So you go after Dolan.
That was my point.
Absolutely. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Your this is case number 471 on the calendar in the matter of Hames versus Stradley.
Thank you very much, Bert.
You're quite welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Ms. Hames, I've read your complaint very carefully, and it is your claim that the defendant assaulted you at a friend's house. You want to be paid for both your medical expenses as well as your lost wages and your pain and suffering. The defendant says that while she did hit you, you were the aggressor. All right. When did this happen?
This happened on Thanksgiving night.
Where?
At my girlfriend's house.
All right. And tell me what happened.
When I got there, my girlfriend was standing over by the Christmas tree, and I went over there to hug her and wish her happy Thanksgiving. Lori at the time was sitting on the floor down there, and she yelled at me very rudely like and says, "Can you put your cigarette out? My baby's in here." And I turned my head like this and I said no.
Now, did you know the defendant before this incident occurred?
I've known Jessie, my girlfriend, since 1979. And I met Lori probably about a year or so ago.
Okay. So you turned around and said no when she asked you to put the cigarette out.
That's correct.
And you continued to talk to your friend.
Talk to my friend.
What happened next?
Then I kind of like just went and turned my head like this, and all of a sudden I saw this thing coming, which I was told was this. And it came at me right here, and my glasses flew one direction, and I came towards her to keep her from hitting me again. So me and her fell to the floor. Now, because she hit me and caught me off guard, I never got to see what she hit me with.
Do you have a witness here who saw what you were hit with?
Yes, I have my witness.
Step up, please. Tell me your name, sir.
Conrad Boyd, B-O-I-D.
Mr. Voigt, were you present on Thanksgiving evening?
Yes, we walked into the door like simultaneously, and it all happened so fast. The young lady right here was sitting on the floor, and she got up, she mentioned about the cigarette, and Brenda said no. And then she went back talking to Jesse, and she got up as if she was leaving, but when she walked, she popped her.
And did you see what she hit her with?
It appeared to be like a kid's guitar. It had like a handle on it.
So it wasn't
similar.
this item?
It was something like this, but I thought I seen a longer handle.
But it was clearly an object, not her
Right,
hand.
it's an object, right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ford. Have a seat. What happened after you were hit?
After I was hit, then Conrad grabbed me and held me in another room, and Lori, someone grabbed her, and she left.
Did you go to the hospital?
I went to the emergency room because I work at the hospital. I went to the emergency room after I got off from work 3 o'clock in the morning.
What kind of injury did you sustain?
She said it was concussion, so she gave me
you have a report?
800 milligrams.
Do you have a report?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please. So there was bleeding in the area?
Yes, yes.
Underneath the skin?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Adley, let me hear your version of the events.
It was Thanksgiving Day. I was over at my boyfriend's mother's house. I was sitting on the floor. We had been over there all day. We were watching football and, had a very nice family Thanksgiving dinner. And Brenda knocks on the door, and, the door's answered, and she comes in, and she knows that we do not allow smoking around our child.
Don't tell me what she knows. You don't know what she knows.
Okay, sorry. So, we don't allow smoking around our child. Our daughter was in the house. She walks in with a cigarette, and I nicely asked her, I said, can you extinguish your cigarette, put it out, please? We're gathering our stuff and we'll leave. She said, no, I'm not putting my cigarette out. I just lit it, started cursing at me. I said, okay. And I turned, was walking over to the table to get my daughter's stuff, and I was hit by this part of her arm on the side of my head. Instinctively, this is my daughter's toy that I had in my hand. I had it by the handle, and I did hit her in the head with it. I was tackled across the living room, and my boyfriend, he intervened somewhere and pulled us apart after I was already on the floor, and I gathered the rest of my daughter's belongings. I apologized to Stan and Conrad and my boyfriend's mother, and my boyfriend, and I went home and called the police.
All right, let's go back for a moment.
Okay.
You were sitting on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm not putting out my cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Hames says that she just continued to have her conversation, which, by the way, Ms. Hames, I think you were wrong. Wrong to say I won't put out my cigarette. It's Thanksgiving. You were asked to do something. Some people really object to smoke around babies. So if she said to you, would you put out your cigarette, she may have said it in a rude fashion. But it would have been better if you just put it out, because you can understand why she wouldn't want smoke around her baby, right?
Right.
These are two completely different stories, and I have to make a determination as to what is more logical. And to me, Ms. Stradley, it sounds more logical to me that you got very angry when she said no and just ignored you, because that's what mothers do with their children. They are very protective. And when somebody says to you, no, I'm not going to put out my cigarette, or whatever else she said, and you thought someone was threatening the health of your baby, it is more logical that you attacked her first.
Can I add one thing, Your Honor?
Sure.
There was alcohol involved. Brenda and her boyfriends had been drinking when she showed up to the house.
That wouldn't make a difference.
Brenda and I have not gotten along ever.
So you don't get along. That's even more of a reason for you to have attacked her first, because she was just blowing you off. She just said, no, I'm not putting it out, and turned around to continue our conversation. That really annoyed you. So, Ms. Stradley, it is more logical, madam, that you got very angry with the plaintiff, who was rude. No question she was rude. What you should have done was say, okay, you're leaving, I'll take the cigarette outside, I'll put it away. You were rude. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That doesn't excuse the fact that you bopped her with an instrument that could have caused injury. The fact that it didn't cause a serious injury is just lucky. Now, why you went and called the police, I don't know.
Because I was struck first, Your Honor.
No. I think that you went and called the police because you were afraid she was going to.
She hit me, so I hit her back. Self-defense.
No, you didn't. You didn't hit her in self-defense. You hit her in anger because she was placing your child, according to you, at risk. You say it's very clear. Everybody knows that we don't allow smoking near our baby.
That's
you don't get along.
sense.
That's common sense. You're absolutely right.
Something that she lacks.
You're absolutely right. She should have put the cigarette out if you asked her. That doesn't give you permission to hit her, and you hit her first. No question, because she would have had no reason to hit you. She said no and continued to have a conversation with
Other
other
than the
people
fact
who
that
live.
she's a drunk and was drunk, no, she doesn't have a reason.
Even if she were drunk, she would not have a reason to hit you because she had already given you her answer. And her answer was, no, I'm not putting out the cigarette.
You're the judge.
You're right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brenda Hames says she was assaulted by Lori Stradley on Thanksgiving Day. Brenda claims when she refused to put out her cigarette, Lori hit her in the face with a child's toy.
Miss Stradley, it does not make sense for her to have assaulted you after she already gave you her answer. It does make sense, however, if you were so angry, and you were angry. You didn't get along with her. You have not gotten along with her. She not only disrespected you, but she was smoking around your child, which is something that you and your boyfriend believe is dangerous to the child. So she was placing your child in danger, and that's what mamas do when somebody places their child in danger. They strike out, which is exactly what you did. Now, Ms. Hames, you were not seriously injured. You went to work the next day. You had medical bills of $99, right?
Yes, I also has my glasses, which was also affected with that.
Well, how were they
had
affected?
to be fixed. I had to have my glasses repaired.
And how much was that?
The glasses, I paid $288.59 for those glasses.
Well, but they were fixed. So I want to see the bill for fixing them.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry.
Is that the bill for fixing
Yes,
them?
Yes.
Can I add something else?
Sure.
Okay. My glasses were a little bent too, and you take them into Walmart, you take them into Shopko, you take them into anywhere, and they adjust them for nothing. She's a joke.
Well, this is a bill that you're showing me from date of service May 9th of 2000.
That's what I paid for the glasses.
I didn't ask you what you paid for the glasses, madam. You didn't replace the glasses. You had them fixed.
Right.
So how much did you pay to have them fixed?
They didn't charge me anything for them.
All right, and you're wearing them.
Right.
What else? Shh, please. What other expenses did you have?
Well, other than that doctor bill, that's all I've had. And, well, I'm still suffering from headaches on this left side of my head from
Do you
where
have
I
any
was.
medical?
Try to quit drinking. Sorry.
See your temper?
Yeah, I
That's
have
a
a temper.
That's what happened on Thanksgiving night. So watch
You
your
want to
temper.
take this so I don't
watch
use
your-
it again?
Watch your temper.
I'm being good.
$99 is what I have so far.
That's it, Judge.
The lawsuit seeks $4,000 in damages because in addition to everything else, you say you had lost wages, but you had no lost wages. You went to work the next day.
Well, when I got to work, I had such a bad headache, but I had to continue to work. After I got off work at 3 in the morning, Judge, I went down to the emergency room.
Fine. Did you go to work on the next regularly scheduled day that you
Yes,
had to go to work?
because I
So
was-
you had no lost wages. I'm awarding you on your claim 10 times the actual damages that you sustained. And the actual damages were $99. So I'm awarding you on your claim $990. And I think you really have to examine whether or not whether your words precipitated this altercation. That does not excuse the defendant's behavior. She is clearly a hot-tempered lady. Clearly. But just think for the future, if you're around somebody and somebody says, you're a smoker, I have my baby here, could you put out the cigarette? You do it. Because it's not a big deal. You got it?
Yes.
You're real lucky that she wasn't hurt anymore.
Oh, I almost
Lucky.
wish she had.
You're very lucky because if she had been further injured as a result of your hitting her with a dangerous instrument, you could have wound
It's a
up in jail.
CNC. It's not dangerous.
Anything is a dangerous instrument depending upon its use. A child's toy is... Hey, don't be stupid and laugh. Please don't be stupid and laugh. A child's toy is meant to be used by a child. Its purpose is not to be used as an instrumentality to an assault.
Unless you're
And
hit
that's
first.
what you did. And you were not assaulted first, madam. If you say that you were again, you've made it up in your own head.
But you weren't there, and I was hit first.
Never
I'm not gonna
happened.